What's up, everybody? Welcome back to it is Hump Day Wednesday. I hope everybody's having a good middle of the week. Just wanted to drop in today. I couldn't do a live stream yesterday. I was busy with taking one of the kiddos to the dentist. So sorry about missing yesterday. Guys, we're going to jump into this here in a few minutes. If you want to support the channel, guys, we have the Cash App QR code up there. I can change it to the Venmo or PayPal, or it's going across the screen there. Make sure you support the channels here. We try to bring you guys as much content as we can. I just dropped a new short about the Europeans loving America that's over here for the FIFA World Cup. I mean, that's some of my new favorite content, guys. We're going to get into that as well. Also, I just dropped a new 5-minute video in my videos. Make sure you go check that out. Leave me a comment. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. That will be coming soon to the channel. We got some huge news coming. We got some new content. We're going to keep with the content we have too, but we have some major new First Amendment content. We're going to be recording in public. We're going to be doing all kinds of new stuff for this channel here. So make sure you hit that subscribe, turn your notifications on so you don't want to miss it. So as you can see, the title, Vice President JD Vance visits The View. Boy, he even did an interview. Excuse me. I'm going to see if I can find the interview he interviewed, and he said something about on Greg Gutfield's last night, I believe it was. He really thought Sunny was going to be the racist one towards him, and actually it turned out to be Whoopi Goldberg, which we all know that. They're all cackling hens, in my opinion. So we're going to jump into just some of the things that they had, they were discussing on there. Of course, The View always likes to cut it to their advantage, but we're going to try to find some more where he actually roasts The View. So we're going to jump into this. I want you guys to take a look at this. Let me know how you feel about this, because they just drilled him and drilled him and drilled him, but he held his own, JD Vance is
Vice President. Thank you for being with us. Now, you came into office with clear momentum, but when I talk to my friends and family who supported you and the president, still support you and the president, one issue comes up time and time again, and it's the economy. Inflation's up, wages are down, gas prices are starting to drop at news of this Iran deal, which we will get to.
Sure. They drilled his ass.
Due to lower costs on day one, and will they be satisfied by November?
Well, I think that's ultimately up to the voters, right? I think voters have every right.
Well, let's see. I posted a picture on my Instagram earlier. Yes, and I have broke over the 40K followers. I'm up to about 44, and it's moving fast on my Instagram. Guys, go check it out. My gas in Tennessee is $3.62, and it keeps dropping. So
to expect as much as possible out of their elected representatives. We certainly know that we were elected on a number of mandates. One was to close the border, which I think we've done successfully, exceeded expectations there. Number two was to lower prices, and there's a lot of work to do, in large part because of what's happened over the last few months in the Middle East. But as you said, oil, which got up to $120 a barrel, now is at $80 a barrel. That's going to be reflected in lower fuel, lower food, lower energy prices.
Like I said, they're going to cut these.
The thing that I'm proudest about most, because as some of you know, I grew up in one of these towns that was forgotten by the leaders in Washington of both parties, is that you're seeing, that's Middletown, Ohio. That's my hometown.
Joy Behar interrupts him so many times. She don't shut up.
My grandfather, who's a union steelworker.
I think at one time, even like Anna Navarro does too, and I think Whoopi finally tells one of them to be quiet, stop it.
Is that those jobs disappeared. Those factories closed down. The thing that,
of course, as you can see, usually there's one of these girls missing, these women missing on the regular View. Since it's the vice president, every one of them showed up to drill him.
I'm most excited about is you do see a large amount of capital investment coming into our country. Factories being built, construction jobs are way up, manufacturing jobs are starting to catch up. So there's a lot more work to do. I think that we're making progress, but ultimately we're going to make our pitch to the voters in November, and they're the ones who get to decide whether we've done a good job or not, and that's how they're going to vote.
Yeah, so let's see what we got here. We're going to jump back to this other one. We're going to see here how many.
It sounds like you believed that there would be men in the files who would be held accountable.
This is on the files
so.
here.
And the American people are with you on this. Why haven't we seen the release of over 2.5 million?
Well, we have.
Epstein files.
You just guys don't understand.
Seems like
you're going on what CNN says.
It is on the right side of history on this.
So we have released, I think it's 6 million files or 6 million pages of documents My understanding is the 2.5 million, Sunny. I'm going to check on this to make sure, but my understanding is that a lot of those are duplicates of things that have already been released.
So
We're not holding.
We're not.
We're not.
You want to interrupt him again?
Back. Some of those things are like the courts have to order you to release them. So that was one thing that we confronted. You talk about these situation room meetings. Is there's a big bunch.
And I love it because these ladies, these cackling hens, act like they're actually in the situation room and they know everything that's going on. No, they just hear from what other sources and reporters are saying, which is false. They don't know the truth either. These other White House reporters, I don't care what station media channel they're on, Fox, CNN, whatever. They do not know what facts are in the situation room. They're not hearing the real stuff that's going on.
Files that existed, I think, in the Southern District of New York, or maybe it was some other jurisdiction. But we were like, we want to release these files, but you need the court approval in order to release
yes, the
files.
judge
Sometimes
has to.
We would apply to release the files, and the courts would say no. So
See,
those particular documents, I would need to actually like know exactly what you're talking about.
3.5 million documents were released, and my understanding is 2.5 million have not been.
Those may have been the ones that are under court. So I don't know what the documents you're talking about.
They're just going to keep on with him because they're just ridiculous.
It's been well covered that I was a critic of Donald Trump back in 2015 and 2016. Now, obviously, I'm sitting here as the Vice President of the United States in the Trump administration.
Okay, what happened? She just won't hush. Joy just, I mean, you have to watch the whole show. And I know a lot of people will not do that, but let me tell you something. Joy would not stop. She interrupted him and just out speaking. Like I said, until Whoopi finally told her to stop.
Actually, I think that
it's ridiculous. You get a vice president on your show, trust me, that can actually speak instead of like when they had Biden on, when Jill Biden had to speak for him. Remember that, guys? Like when you get someone on like this, you let them speak. You let them tell you the things that's going on. Stop interrupting.
And those predictions turn out to be false.
It's crazy.
Yourself, well, what made me wrong about that? What did I not
welcome in, guys?
Not appreciate?
Hit the like button. Hit that subscribe when you come in.
Trump's economic policies would not lead to wage growth. They did in the first term. That was actually a major thing. I said that.
Yes, he was a big critic of Trump before the first term, until he got proven wrong.
Those factory jobs, because I kind of had given into this idea that those jobs were disappearing, but actually Donald Trump, you saw a manufacturing boom during that administration. So there's a certain point. Let me just. So there's a certain point where you say,
see, she just won't shut up.
I made predictions about this. I ended up being wrong. Yeah. And in politics and anything, I think it's important to just say, you know what? I got some things wrong, and I was wrong about him. He was a very successful president. It's one of the reasons why I've been so supportive of him.
You go on in the book to explain that good policy was.
This lady about cries. I wished I was there to tell her to shut up. Like she starts in, and it's like, really? You're a grown woman. You're going to cry on a show like this?
One of your justifications, but the quote, and when you tweeted that or X'd it, was not about policy. It was what Christians were willing to excuse. And that's the part I can't get past.
See,
what are you willing to excuse in the name of power?
Well,
what are you willing to excuse?
I would say fundamentally that one of the things I underappreciated about Donald Trump is that so many of the things that people said about him weren't actually true.
And Whoopi knows that. She was friends with Trump.
Donald Trump.
She knows that.
Of him, or I see even
he's been on that show 2 or 3 times in the past before he was even president. Because what's her name was a huge fan and friend of his. The lady that ran that show, that owned that show at one time.
Face value. For example, let's just go back to one of the most controversial things Donald Trump said during the first term that I was wrong during the first campaign is that I was led to believe by the stories. I read stories that said Donald Trump said that all Mexicans were rapists. He never said that. What he said is that the certain South American countries, Central American countries were releasing criminals into our country, including Mexico. By the way, that was objectively true. So it's not so much Christian.
There's no evidence of that. There's no evidence of that. She is disgusting.
In a lot of the...
This is what I like. I made a short on this because this is what pissed me off about Whoopi. And this was her being, I think when JD Vance said she was being racist towards him, he said he thought it would actually be Sunny, and then it turned out to be Whoopi Goldberg. When she's talking about taking away Black history and shit, I made a short of this, and I was talking about really because in the Biden administration, you tore down statues. Robert E. Lee. Not only that, you tore down a bronze statue out of the Arlington Cemetery that was for the soldiers, and you tore down a president. I think it was Theodore Roosevelt or one of those statues. They tore down 3 or 4 major statues in our country, and talking about who's trying to erase history and change it. Come on.
Museums,
She is disgusting. What's up there, Bill?
Where they're taking down the actual history that happened in this country. Slavery happened. All kinds of stuff happened, and it seems that it has been
she can't explain it
for this administration
to
remove that, and also to denigrate Black folks who have worked their behinds off.
She's ridiculous.
To get this American dream. How do you? I mean, you know better.
You know better.
I think, okay, look at Washington D.C. One of the most democratic and one of the blackest, by share of population, blackest cities in the United States of America, has seen a radical decrease in violent crimes and sexual assaults and in murders. We have tried to take the crime issue seriously, in part because we believe everybody, whether you're Black or white or rich or poor, deserves to live in a safe neighborhood.
Why does the crime? Where does the crime step in? This is not about crime. This is about
lost their jobs.
Right. This is about
Sonny,
rights.
What you're saying is we got to do more on the economy.
Black history has been erased from public.
Black history is being erased.
That's true.
We do have to get to Iran when.
See, he's like, that ain't true. That's not right. And it ain't. It's not true. It's not right.
What can you say to voters who trusted you to lower costs on day one, and will they be satisfied by November?
Well, I think that's ultimately up to the voters, right? I think voters have every right to expect as much as possible out of their elected representatives. We certainly know that we were elected on a number of mandates. One was to close the border, which I think we've done successfully, exceeded expectations there. Number 2 was to lower prices, and there's a lot of work to do, in large part because of what's happened over the last few months in the Middle East. But as you said, oil, which got up to $120 a barrel, now is at $80 a barrel. That's going to be reflected in lower fuel, lower food, lower energy prices. But there's a lot more work to do. The thing that I'm proudest about most, because it was, as some of you may know, I grew up in one of these towns that was forgotten by the leaders in Washington of both parties, is that you're seeing, that's Middletown, Ohio. That's my hometown in southwestern Ohio. It was a proud steel town. I was raised by a grandfather who was a union steel worker, is that those jobs disappeared. Those factories closed down. The thing that I'm most excited about is you do see a large amount of capital investment coming into our country. Factories being built, construction jobs are way up, manufacturing jobs are starting to catch up.
Yeah, they refuse to actually see and look at the real estate.
And they're the ones who get to decide whether we've done a good job or not.
They refuse to actually show real evidence. I mean, these ladies refuse to actually believe anything. That's the sad part. They don't want to believe anything these people are saying. Like, all they have to do is go look it up, but they won't believe it. But if it was Biden in there, they would believe it. You better believe it.
Anyone.
This lady is ridiculous.
Over 50 people have died in ICE custody. There are thousands of children, 6,200.
You want to say something about the children? When the Biden administration come in and opened the borders and allowed hundreds of thousands of children to be coming in and trafficked and stuff? Come on, lady.
That are being held in places.
These
like
people are so two-faced.
The people that have visited those detention centers, I don't know if you have.
Really? Those people that have visited, do you understand they just don't let the average news reporter or average person in those facilities for a reason? Because it's a safety reason, and it's like a prison holding cell. Do you understand they're just not going to let people visit those because they come up to the door and want to go see if people are being treated right? These people are ridiculous. And then all it is rumors like, oh, there's people dying. There's people in here. They're suffering. They're not getting food. They're not getting their meds. That's a crock of shit, man. I'm telling you right now. That is cruel and inhuman punishment. You can't do that. It's against laws. There's laws written in a book for that reason. Even if you're an American and you go to jail or prison, you have to have at least an hour of daylight, or you have to have a window in your cell. You can't be treated like that. Trust me. Trust me.
Talk about the subhuman, infrahuman conditions, the lack of clean water, the lack of medical attention, the lack of education.
It's ridiculous.
I would urge you as a Christian and as a father to visit those detention centers where the children are being held and make sure that the conditions
You don't think they aim?
are up to the values.
You don't think they don't know what's going on in those
country.
facilities?
We do have to strike a balance, of course, between enforcing our laws. We don't want to dehumanize people. That is the balance that, look, law enforcement, what I'd say about this, law enforcement is always inherently not a very pretty process, especially when you're
exactly. It's not easy. catching criminals and locking criminals up. I mean, come on.
With violent people, with people who are resisting arrest. Some of the people that I've been told by the media were completely peaceful, had never violated any laws. You actually look into the record and you find out that those people were actually being violent, or they did have a criminal record. They had a sex trafficking conviction.
Don't have criminal records. The majority of people, ICE is rounding up.
The majority don't have criminal record. It is a crime to enter this country illegally, Sonny. How many times do they have to put that through your head? Soon as they came in this country, they became a criminal. They broke the law.
And taking out of
this
the
is where they don't
from the
understand.
family, separating families.
She's a lawyer. She
But
knows
the majority
better.
are not criminal.
But can I respond to that, guys? Let me just say this.
He knows better.
See, you talk about the children.
Yeah.
Here's what I'd say. Do we know that during the last administration, we had tens of thousands
Look at
of children
Joy's.
who
Look at
were
Joy's
sex trafficked
face.
by the
She
cartels,
hates it.
who were
God,
brought into
she
our
hates
country in profoundly dangerous and predatory conditions.
Let's talk about this administration.
Why? So we have to talk about this administration because we're trying to actually find all those kids that the Biden and them allowed to be, missing. See, they don't want to bring that up. They just want to focus on Trump.
Here's the point. Unless you
Get out
enforce the
there.
border,
Quit.
you invite that kind of conduct.
Exactly.
You think that our immigration
Unless
policies
you
are
enforce the
inhumane
border,
based on
you
the
invite
opinion of
that
one
stuff.
person with a political bias. What I'm
These
telling
people
you
are
is that
biased.
it's inhumane
They're
to
so
allow
political
cartels
biased.
to sex
Yeah.
traffic people.
They're
across our
ridiculous.
border.
See, they won't let him finish. But see, this is where they cut these videos. This is the Views channel on X, Twitter. This is where they cut the videos where you don't get to see him actually cooking their ass. But we're going to find some, trust me. I mean, we're going to find some, trust me. I know where some of them are. We're going to find some.
But the president knows that a lot of Americans are struggling. In fact, he ran on that. He talked about it, and we've done some things and made some good progress on that point.
He just said he loves the inflation.
No, he didn't say that.
What he said is that he loves the fact that the inflation is going to come down
Exactly.
when this war is over.
She just would
what he
not
said.
stop.
That wasn't a direct.
Are you his interpreter or are you his vice president?
She is ridiculous. Well, why didn't you ask Jill Biden that? Why didn't you ask Jill Biden, are you the president? Or are you speaking for him? Or, or is your husband the president? See, they wouldn't do that,
Well, look.
What's up,
what the
everybody?
president
Thanks for coming
said,
in.
People were asking about the inflation. They were asking about the
Yeah, she's
affordability
very
problem, which again is
disrespectful.
very real.
Good to see you,
And what he
man.
said
Good to see
is,
you guys.
I love the inflation because it's going to come down when the war is over.
Yeah,
and now,
okay.
again, we already see gas prices today, $4.06 a gallon, too high, but way down from where they were just a couple of weeks ago. So there's a lot we got to do. But I think that we're doing as much as we can. We're going to keep on working at it. And again,
yeah, we're going to find some of these other videos because these are not the ones that I like to show. These are like some crazy, we're gonna sit through some of these and because there's a lot out there that where these and of course the internet's just full of this shit. Look at them. These people are. These people are ridiculous, making fun of this Austin Metcalf guy. See, this is a Joe Biden. RuPaul, yeah, this is a Joe Biden White House. Yeah, there's a difference,
I am calling on every single Carmelo Anthony supporter, every Black Lives Matter activist, Al Sharpton, and every single body who claim they care about young Black people. Why do y'all care about Carmelo Anthony more than y'all care about these young Black babies?
Exactly. Well, they don't. You know that as well as I do. They're ridiculous. They only care about what's in the moment and what's being politicized. Let's see here. Yeah, let's see. This is one of them right here.
media team told me. Okay, good.
Well, we'll find out. I think you have the first question, Alyssa.
Yes, Mr. Vice President, thank you for being with us. Now, you came into office with clear momentum, but when I talk to my friends and family who supported you and the president, and still support you and the president, one issue comes up time and time again. And
we just seen your.
Reflected in low. We do see a large amount of capital investment coming into our country. Factories, we've done a good job or not?
I call it. And a White House cage.
Oh, this is ridiculous. This one.
He's pouring money into this ballroom of his.
Oh, ballroom of his. It's not his. He leaves in 2 years.
I call it. and a White House cage match. All these things. Why is he doing them?
Yeah, look how beautiful. Look how badass that is. That is America. That is America right there, guys. That's America.
What is he spending all this money for?
Well, I got to defend the president on.
Well, it's not our money
what
he's
the president
spending.
said is the idea that Republicans caused the affordability problem is a hoax, and I think that's true. If you go back to the Biden administration, inflation got up to 9% under the Biden administration.
Yep.
Okay, right now.
Thank you, but see, you know, they don't want to discuss that now, do they? They won't mention that. Well, they're also filthy rich, all of them, so it doesn't affect them like it would the average American. I mean, it really don't. You think they worry about what the price of milk is or eggs or groceries or gas? They talk about it because it's good talking points to blame Trump for something. But other than that, you know, when you have 30 to 50 million and it doesn't affect your bank account. Like they can go spend $1,200, $2,000 on groceries and it doesn't even make a tip of a difference in their accounts. Really, it doesn't.
Now it's at 3.5%. By the way, too high. We're doing everything that we can to bring
exactly.
it down to 2.5%,
They are
which is
doing
where most
everything they
people would
can.
like to see it. But we inherited an affordability problem. We're doing a lot to make it better. It's going to take a little bit of time. There's a lot more work to do. But the president knows that a lot of Americans are struggling. In fact, he ran on that. He talked about it, and we've done some things and made some good progress on that point.
He just said he loves the inflation.
No, he
What
didn't.
he said, Anna, what he said is that he loves the fact that the inflation is going to come down when this war is over. That's what he said.
That's not what he said.
Yes,
Are
it.
you his interpreter or are you his vice president?
She's ridiculous.
Well, look,
God, I wish somebody.
what the president
Oh,
said,
I
people were
can't
asking about
say
the
it.
inflation. They were asking about the affordability problem, which again is very real. And what he said is, I love the inflation because it's going to come down when the war is over.
Exactly.
Again, we already see
Exactly what he
gas
said.
gas prices today, $4.06 a gallon.
Mine's
Way
$3.62,
down from where they were just a
and
couple
it's
weeks
still
ago. So there's
going
a lot-
down.
Again, there's a lot we got to do, but I think that we're doing
$3.62.
as much as we can. We're going to keep on working at it. And again, the American people are going to make their verdict.
I just took a
But I think
picture
we have
yesterday and
a
posted
very
on my
credible case to
Instagram.
run on that we brought a lot of new investment. We're building the factories. That is going to pay serious dividends for the American people over the long haul.
When?
When?
Well,
Listen
you
at
know,
them. We need it
if you
now.
look
We
at-
want
if
it
you look
now.
at manufacturing jobs.
Yeah.
Those jobs are increasing at a large number. Construction jobs are doing a little bit better. So what happens is the construction jobs to build the factories and then the manufacturing workers go back to work. That also leads to rising wages. That's one of the things that I'm very proud of is if you look at the amount that wages are going up now compared to say 2022, they're going up way faster. That's a good thing. The affordability problem, again, gas, way too high right now. Certain things way too high. You know, rents have been either flat or down for 12 months now.
Exactly.
So there are things that are showing
People
signs
don't
of
see that. And see, these ladies don't see it and they don't realize it because they're millionaires. They're multi-millionaires. It does not affect them. So they can talk about it freely and it doesn't bother them. Yeah, it went viral worldwide. The U.S. and its government is the butt of the joke globally. Okay, really? You feel that way? Well, I got a clip from these Europeans and these Australians and the Britons and all them that's over here for the World Cup. Go look at my short, and I'm going to show it here in a minute. Dude, these people love America. They said that their media paints America. You would think every person over here is blue hair and nose rings. And they're like, our media completely trashes America, but it's completely not what it is. Like that's all that they've said that tons and tons again, that their media portrays America as this third world, you know, shithole country, which I'm going to show you guys some clips here in a few minutes, but I just want to get through this cackling, you know, mules.
Signs of progress.
These hens here
don't agree with it. Is that we inherited a mess and we're fixing it.
And they don't, like he said, I know you guys don't agree with it, but we inherited a mess. They did. Trump inherited the worst president in my lifetime. Even Carter. I thought Carter was bad. Shit. Biden was 10 times worse than Jimmy Carter.
Time to fix a mess.
Sunny.
Okay. Mr. Vice President,
And yes, I'm old enough. I'm 46 years old. I'm not a child. I'm old enough to know Reagan was president when I was born.
From the New York Times,
Carter was before him.
Behind the scenes to release the Epstein files, and we applaud you for that.
Reagan was trying to fix all that.
And you warned top officials, including top DOJ officials, at strategy meetings taking place inside the Situation Room. We understand that there are tapes of those meetings, that this was a huge problem.
I'm glad you're inside the Situation Room, though, Sonny. I'm glad these ladies know exactly what is said in a private, classified area. This is what kills me about the internet and social media, YouTube, X, all these platforms. because everybody thinks they know exactly what is being done and being said. I don't even know that. I don't say that. I don't know what's going on in those places. I will not repeat things that's not true. I just don't.
The report says you even floated having Tucker Carlson interview Ghislaine Maxwell to clear the president's name, but you were rebuffed by your people.
See, he's laughing because it's all lies.
First of all, don't believe everything that you read.
See what I mean? Like, he would know.
In any newspaper,
I know
whether it's a
politicians
right-wing
lie,
paper or a
but
left-wing paper, because as you
I don't.
guys know,
Yeah, exactly. All these left-wing papers and outlets. It's
there are
ridiculous.
things that are true, things that are false, and things
See?
that are totally missing context.
Yeah,
Here's
exactly.
what I'll say.
And I tell you
So-
what, if you don't have it on recording or a video, don't believe it. Don't believe it at all. Because there's always my story, their story, and then the truth, which would be the video. You know what I mean? So if I'm videoing in public, like I just showed, just dropped a video earlier, and something happens, guess what? And if I speak it and tell it, of course it's my truth if I speak the truth, but then that other person may lie and add on or say something different. But the video is going to tell the real truth.
Number one, I am frankly kind of a conspiracy theory on the Epstein stuff.
Yes, he is. He's made that very known that he's a conspiracy.
And I love Susie, but absolutely, she thinks I'm a conspiracy theorist on the Epstein stuff because I think that it's
Well,
crazy.
okay,
that you have
T-Bone.
this guy who is clearly a sex predator who is hanging out with a lot of very wealthy and powerful people. Like, that really bothered me. I don't know what's there, of course. Nobody knows exactly what happened unless you were there, but that really bothered me, and I wanted to have full transparency. What I disagree with is the idea that the White House wasn't committed to full transparency. We have to remember, like, I was inside the room when some of these decisions were made. The Epstein Files Transparency Act, the one that the president signed, the one that led to all these files that we're seeing, the emails. By the way, again, sorry, do I have to defend my boss? I know you guys don't always appreciate this, but you know, one of the things you see in the Epstein
little
emails
ones are taking
is
a
that
nap.
Jeffrey Epstein hated Donald Trump, and that Donald Trump literally reported Jeffrey Epstein to the police.
Exactly.
They were best friends.
They were
for about a
best
decade.
friends.
They
No, they
never
wasn't.
signed
They
that
might have been friends, but they
Transparency
wasn't
under
best
duress
friends.
When some Republican women, congresswomen like Lauren Boebert, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, did not give.
Well, we know why Marjorie Taylor Greene come out and spoke out, and Lauren Boebert. We know because he told her not to run. We know the reason Marjorie Taylor Greene was upset and pissed off. And I know she advocated to release the files and all that. I get it. But when you have files with victims' names and stuff, I agree. Release them. If there's scumbags in there, let's hang them up. Let's get rid of them. Every one of them. And I would say if there was hardcore evidence, real undisputed truth about Trump in there, get rid of it. I would say the same thing about him as well as I do any of these other people.
His pressure of not.
Because I'm a father and I don't play that shit.
signing. He brought Lauren Boebert into the Situation Room to pressure her.
How do you know? Because you heard someone say that?
Caving on not voting for that bill.
So let me respond to that. So
That's all true.
Let me respond to that.
That's
So
all
number
true,
one
they said.
is,
It's
yes,
all true.
Donald Trump, he said this. He knew Jeffrey Epstein back in the 1980s.
all
He also
true.
threw Jeffrey Epstein out of his club when he found out it was a
They
creep.
believe
He reported
anything
him to
comes
the
out of
police.
people's
That's
mouth.
something that the media often misses when it reports the story.
Yeah.
They tell the fact that they knew each other in the 80s.
But they won't tell the fact that he's actually the one that freaking that he's the one that turned Jeffrey Epstein in for being a weirdo and liking little girls and boys.
The president himself admits, they ignore the fact that he narked on him to the police.
Exactly.
That led ultimately to Jeffrey Epstein's downfall.
Exactly.
You know the Republican Party. Well, it's one of the things that led to law enforcement investigation. But on the point,
Exactly.
Allegedly over a real estate deal that they hadn't got into a fight over.
No, that's
the email
hearsay.
the email says
They
actually
didn't just know each other. Let's just be truthful and transparent here. They didn't just know each other.
He's in a lot of
They were
places.
incredibly close friends.
he reported him to the police. That's what I'm saying.
Whoopi's being awful quiet. You notice that? Because she was on that list a few times. Notice that she ain't said a word. See, I catch things like that. See, she's sitting there minding her business. She won't say anything when she's being awful sneaky quiet because she don't want her name brought back up. Even though she was on that flight, she says she wasn't, but there was multiple requests for her to take his airplane. Now she can dispute and say, "Well, yeah, my people requested it, but I never got on it." Well, so can Trump. So can Clinton, so can anyone. They all get up there and say, well, yeah, but I wasn't on the flight. Or just because I took the flight doesn't mean he was on there with me. Because when you run you own private jets and you need to get somewhere, go look it up. It's easy. Google it. People have private airplanes and they rent them out all the time. Why? Because it pays for cost of maintenance every year. Go look and see how much maintenance is on a 9-seater jet. Go look it up, or even on a Cessna. It's expensive. And then you got to have hangar fees, all kinds of stuff. So they rent these out to people that can afford $3,000 to $4,000 flights. You know, they'll charge maybe $3,000 to $5,000 for someone to get on and fly 3 to 4 hours, 6-hour flight here and there, 7-hour. A buddy of mine owns planes. I know. And that's what he's wanting to do. He's wanting to buy more and run a charter service. And it's expensive.
That is objectively true. But Anna made another point that I think, Whoopi, if I may, because Anna made a very important point. This question about, did Donald Trump release these files only under duress from Republicans? And Anna, you know the Republican Party probably better than I do.
Yeah,
the idea
she does.
Trump runs around
and she claims that she's this old, she's this woke craziness. Why does she know the Republican Party more than JD Vance, guys? Because she was a Republican. I think she still is. She's just going along because she's getting paid tons of money to be on this show and to spew, hate speech over Trump. TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. She really does. She gets paid millions of dollars. She goes on these other shows. She has her own show. She talks on the weekend show. She was actually JD Vance. Her and JD Vance actually worked together, guys. Did y'all know that? I bet you didn't know that, did you?
Rate of Republican congressmen as opposed to the other way around is kind of crazy.
What was the bipartisan?
But because the Republicans control the House and the Senate, particularly the Senate, you need the Republican sign off. What the president did is, look, I will say this again. I was in there in the meetings. He was very frustrated that the Democrats were making this about him when he's like, look, I threw the guy out of my club. I am the guy who reported him to the police, or one of the people who reported him to the police. The president was frustrated about that, absolutely. But he eventually came to say, you know what? Let's just get everything out there. Let's have this out in the public. And he actually called the senators. I was there. He called the senators and said, you know what? Pass this bill, I'll sign it, and that was it.
Let me follow up.
See?
Let me follow up.
See, they're just crackling hens.
Believed that there would be men in the files who would be held accountable, rightfully so. And the American people.
Well, there's been quite a few. They just ain't Americans. They've actually had to resign, all kinds of stuff overseas. These high class people. I mean, some of these people has had to pay millions of dollars, like the Prince guy.
Why haven't we seen the release of over 2.5 million additional?
He just told you, because their copies, or the judge has got, or they have to be passed by the courts and held up in New York, and they will not release them.
Epstein file documents. It seems like you.
So we've released, I think it's 6 million files or 6 million pages of documents. My understanding is that 2.5 million, Sunny. I'm going to check on this to make sure, but my understanding is that a lot of those are duplicates of things that have already been released. So we're not holding anything back. Some of those things are like the courts have to order you to release them. So that was one thing that we confronted. You talk about the situation in meetings is, there's a big bunch of files that existed, I think, in the Southern District of New York, or maybe it was some other jurisdiction. But we were like, we want to release these files, but you need the court approval in order to release the files. Sometimes we would apply to release the files, and the courts would say no. So those particular documents.
Y'all notice Whoopi ain't said shit, right? Y'all do? Are y'all catching that? Because, or am I the only one that's caught that Whoopi has not said a word? Because she knows she's in the file. She ran around with those. They all partied together. Every one of them partied together. Do y'all not get that? That's why Whoopi is holding her head down. She has not said a word. She ain't going to. I mean, I'm smart enough to see the shit,
Documents were released, and my understanding is 2.5 million have not been.
Those may have been the ones that are under court too. I don't know what the documents you're talking about, but I'm telling you,
they wouldn't believe the truth if it smacked them in the face.
And let's talk about the book.
See, look, yeah, Whoopi finally says something, but it ain't about Epstein or none of this stuff.
Let me go to break.
Sure.
Let me go to break. Because people are looking at me.
And let's talk about the book. I'm here to sell books. Communion. Buy my book, please.
Yeah.
Eventually we will, but this is a good opportunity for us to.
I'm here to make millions of dollars on a book, which he has that right. We live in a capitalism city, country. We were allowed to do this.
We'll be back with more with Vice President JD
Vance.
This one right here, I love the way she almost cries. Like, my kids, what am I going to tell my kids? Shut up. You're a grown adult. If your kids are that freaking sensitive, buy a helmet for them. Make them wear a helmet around.
Evolution with faith, from evangelical to atheist to Catholic convert. And you also explain your evolution similarly on Trump, from calling him America's Hitler to America's best hope.
They had to throw that in there, didn't they?
Someone who has admitted to chasing ambition, which you write about in the book in the past, but now says your faith brought you back to your priorities. I have to kind of use your own words that sit with me from 2016.
Sure.
Fellow Christians, everyone is watching when we apologize for this man. Lord help us. And I think about that all the time because as a fellow Christian, that is something that weighs on my heart as I watch this country and the leadership at the top, because it's also something I have to explain to my kids, which I know we also share, this idea that our greatest privilege and responsibility are these young people we're raising.
Of course.
So help me find the words to explain to my children what
help me to explain to my children. I'm going to cry because I'm a grown ass adult and I don't know how to tell little kids that they're going to be okay.
Witnessing right now.
That, Trump's bringing back more manufacturing jobs, more plants are being built for the American actual people to work and have jobs. You understand? It takes time to build a plant. You can't just throw up a plant in 2 days. When you build factories and warehouses and stuff, it takes a little time. It ain't going to happen in 2 days or a week.
Well, first of all, it's been
because there's a lot of red tape. Not only that, there's a lot of construction workers. Constructions have to bid on the damn jobs and they have to go through all this process. It ain't like one guy owns a construction company. He says, okay, we're going to build it. It's done in a week. Now get to work. Everybody's got jobs and making money. It doesn't happen like that. Go back and look at Biden saying, I'm going to sign this bill. Now, this ain't going to take effect till 10 years from now. This is going to help people in 10 years. Every president does that. Every president that brings stuff into this country or does something, it takes time. Yes, we all want it quick in our pockets and we want to see it. I just think that's the way we were built. Most Americans, when they want something, they want it now, And I think a lot of times it's just we're impatient. A lot of people are impatient nowadays, especially nowadays with social media. They expect everything to be seen and heard just in that one moment. Well, it doesn't work that way.
Well covered that I was a critic of Donald Trump back in 2015 and 2016. Now, obviously, I'm sitting here as the Vice President of the United States in the Trump administration. Well, Joy,
what happened, Joy says?
Actually, I think that when you make predictions.
God, she's so cringe. Her smile is like fucking Saul or something evil. You know what I mean? Like that movie Saul.
You gotta ask
she's
yourself,
disgusting.
What made me wrong about that? What did I not understand or not appreciate? For example, I said that Donald Trump's economic policies would not lead to wage growth. They did in the first term. That was actually.
I tell you what, I do want to answer this real quick. You know what takes time? Him making $4 billion in the last 18 months. That happened. He didn't make it. His family, his company, Eric Trump and them. He has companies. Dude, go and look up how many presidents has benefited. I only want to. I'm gonna address this. Please do some research. Go and Google or however you get on your internet and research how many presidents have benefited from being the president. It's the privilege that they get to benefiting, not off the American tax people, but through companies that they either build, just like Obama's. He went in worth $1.1 million. He come out $70 million richer. You're not going to say nothing about that? They own how many places in Martha's Vineyard and Hawaii and different, and they're always on their yachts in the Caribbeans and all this. But you guys never say nothing about those people. Even Joe Biden, he was too stupid to make enough money to live on. Now they're broke. He came out worth $25 million. They made $25 million while he was president for 4 years. He came out $25 million richer. So don't give me this shit. Oh, Trump made this $4 billion or this big. Good for him. He's seen what he could do, his family's company. Why not? Why not create your own coins? Why not create hell, if I was in that position, and I guarantee if you were too, you would make the same investments in money. I'm telling you, you can make money. Okay. Whatever. Just like I said, but you guys won't research what other presidents have made. Just go look up what have the past presidents made while they were presidents. Go look at the millions of dollars they have made.
Major thing. I said that
Kamala Harris was vice president, just like him, promoting a book. They've made millions of dollars off a book. So what if Trump, that's y'all's problem. You're so worried about what Trump is doing in his personal life. So what if he says, hey, I got a book or I got my name on something, buy it. People are going to buy it. Then that's the people's fault, right? That's not his fault because he's making money. He's seen an opportunity. He took it. I think any of us would really do that. And for you to sit here and say, no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't make money. You're full of shit. He's the only president that has never took the president's check. He actually gives it to the military. The $400K a year that he makes as president, he's actually signed it off, and he doesn't even accept that money. He's the only president that's never, and why? Because he's got money, but he don't need that money because that's what he did. He's doing it for America. So what if he makes money outside of the president? That's his right to do that, just like every other president has made millions of dollars. Trust me, if Gavin Newsom came in the White House, you don't think he's going to make his businesses in California better? You think he's going to make millions of dollars by being president as he's president or creating something so he can play the markets and create shit? He would do the same thing and come out 10 times richer. Every one of them would. And they do. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Idea that those jobs were disappearing.
If people want to buy the president's books and their apparel and merchandise, that's on them. That's not on me. That's on them.
But actually, Donald Trump, you saw a manufacturing boom during that administration.
Watch her.
So there's a certain point where you say,
Whoopi's told her twice to hush. Joey will not shut up. She just keeps interrupting and interrupting.
I made predictions about this. I ended up being wrong. Yeah. And in politics and
see, these ladies can't even say I was wrong. And Whoopi knows Trump. She actually knows Trump. She's known him for years. At least this man can say, hey, I was wrong. I was proven right. I thought this about him. I thought this. I was proven wrong. I seen different. These ladies can't even say that. These ladies can't even admit. No one on the left can admit when they're wrong. They will go to their grave before they admit they're wrong. Whoopi even rode in his convertible Mercedes. They took her out to her comedy show. Trump did. He hired her like 2 or 3 times, gave her first jobs. They were all at those parties. Just because they're not in the pictures doesn't mean they wasn't there. They don't like him because they can't offer him money and him bend to their will. That's what it is. That's why Chuck Schumer, all these people on the left side hate Trump, and they got Trump Derangement Center because they can't bend him to their will. They can't make him do things that they want because he has a mind of his own, and he says, the hell with you, I'll do what I want.
I think it's important to just say, you know what? I got some things wrong, and I was wrong about him. He was a very successful president. It's one of the reasons why I've been so
exactly. He's been the most successful president of ever of my lifetime. My lifetime, not the most successful, but of my life.
But the quote, and when you tweeted that or X'd it, was not about policy. It was what Christians were willing to excuse. And that's the part I can't get past.
What Christians are willing to excuse certain things for money or power? Well, lady, if you're a Christian, then don't excuse anything for power. You excuse all your real talking points. You say you're a Republican or you're a conservative, but you're not.
Okay, so I see Donald
Trump. You excuse it for your millions of dollars on this show. You talk crazy shit and stuff.
Let's just go back to one of the most controversial things Donald Trump
said. The things you say you believe in, the things these ladies say they believe in. That men can become women and all this shit. Really, you're excusing your Christianity for some Fruit Loop brain tard saying that he can become a woman or a woman can become a man. So don't say anything about a Christian excusing anything because you call yourself a Christian, but you're excusing your Christianity and your Lord because the Lord said man and woman, you know, Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. But you excuse it to agree with these blue hair nose ring libtards. So you're doing the same thing.
Campaign is that I was led to believe by the stories. I read stories that said Donald Trump said that all Mexicans.
Yes, we've been through this one a minute ago.
Fidel Castro did that in 1980.
Fidel Castro did that.
There have been many journalists, including CNN, where you used to work and be my colleague, that have.
See, they were colleagues. They knew each other. She knows him. He knows her. He knows that she was, like he said, she knows more about Republicans than he does. There's a reason for that. Because everybody sits and thinks these guys are all on the left. They may be on the left now, but they were Republicans at once. They believed in conservatives and all that. Don't let these ladies fool you. And they have. They fooled all of you thinking that they're on your side when they really care about their money. That's all they care about.
To find evidence of that. There is no evidence that Maduro was releasing people from insane asylums or jails like Fidel Castro.
Yes, there were.
Yes, made up.
Castro did.
That,
yes.
without pushing back.
Really? You're not going to send all your criminals and shit over here? You're not going to free your country from these criminals and shit and send them to America when Biden opened up the border like that? What was the highest that 1 month was like 200 something thousand people came in 1 month from over there?
So that there were people who were released from prisons who were encouraged to come into
Exactly. They were encouraged to get out over here, to get out of their country.
Jails, open up the insane asylums, and let people.
Yes, they did.
Those if you go, it may not have been like Mariel, but if you go back to the caravans that were happening in 22, 23, we know that those things were funded. They were in some ways supported by the government.
There was absolutely.
So I don't know how you define support.
Yes, they were in NGOs and these groups. That was funded by the government.
In prison by their own governments. I think that's a problem.
Well, Vice President, can I just add one more thing? Because you do speak about immigration at length in this book.
Sure.
And I believe as a Christian, I can tell my kids why it's important to have borders. I get that. There are laws, there are resources. I get all that things. It's much harder to explain when I see someone dragged out of a house or wrongly taken to a
wrongly or dragged out of a house, whatever. They're illegal, lady. They're criminals. As soon as they cross that border, they're criminals.
As vermin or scum. When I teach
Send them back.
About people that have done that before, but this is different. It's very hard.
No, it ain't. Obama deported more people than any president. But you didn't say nothing about that, did you?
And a Christian to say both things.
And you actually say in the book, you talk about this, struggle, this internal struggle in the book, and you talk about moral trade-offs that result in favoring a strict migration policy without dehumanizing anyone.
We need to get rid of the illegals.
Have died in ICE custody.
They're not good for this country.
6,200.
Yeah, I'm glad you know that. I'm glad some reporter told you that, Anna, and you believe it.
Talk about the subhuman, infrahuman conditions, the lack of clean water, the lack of medical attention, the
Yeah.
lack of education. I would
Educate. So we got to educate them while they're locked up in a holding cell to be deported? No, thank you.
Visit those detention centers.
They can't even fucking speak English. You think we need to educate them for free? We're already feeding and housing them for free. You really think we need to educate them too? They can't even speak English. Send them back quick. Don't put them on a boat. Put them on a plane. The quickest way to get them back to their country.
Just where the children are being held and make sure.
Guess what? How many of them got sent back and they sent them straight to that prison over there because they knew they were criminals and they released them from prison? They just don't send people back. People don't get just deported and they go straight to prisons when they go back to their countries. They get released. But why are them countries putting these people straight back into a prison? Because they're criminals. They let them out of the prison. People don't understand. They can't see the context. They don't see that stuff. Why would these people send these people like the guy from Maryland, all this? Why would they send them straight to prison when they hit their countries? They would release them and let them go in the open, wouldn't they? If they wasn't criminals. But no, they send them straight to prison as soon as they touch down over there. Their government puts them in prison. If they wasn't criminals, they would be free to roam wherever they want in that country. But no, they go straight to prison because they're criminals. Think about it, y'all. Are y'all that dense that you don't get this? And it's all a game?
So, up to the values that we hold in this country.
It's ridiculous.
So you guys have thrown a lot at me, and I see we got 30 seconds left here. But let me say, number one.
For y'all to even say that.
I'd like to pick up on this theme because I think it's really important. We do have to strike a balance, of course, between enforcing our laws. We don't want to dehumanize people. That is the balance that, look, law enforcement,
want to dehumanize people. We just don't need them here.
Inherently not a very clean process, especially when you're dealing sometimes with violent people, with people.
Well, Whoopi ain't said really a lot this whole show. She knows she's in those files.
Never violated any laws. You actually look into the record and you find out that those people were actually being violent, or they did have a criminal record.
Exactly.
A sex trafficking conviction.
Don't have criminal records. So the majority of people that ICE is rounding up.
How do you know that, Sonny? Because some CNN reporter tells you that shit. That's what kills me. They will die on this hill just to try to get him to agree with them, and it's not fact.
Their homes from their families. They're separated.
No, they're not. So what? They don't belong here. Maybe their family can go back with them. If their family is American citizen and their illegal fucking family comes over here illegally and their family wants to go back with them, send them back with them. They would go home with them. They know that their family members that comes over here is illegal. They know they're going to be separated as soon as they catch the illegals. But you don't see these big families going with them, do you? Because they hate it over there. And if they're legal in this country and they got a cousin or a brother or sister that's illegal, they know damn well that's what she's talking about. Oh, they're separating families. No, you have a cousin or a dad or a mom or a brother or sister that's illegal. Well, they don't belong here. Sorry about your luck, but you're just going to be separated. Get over it.
Not criminal.
But can I respond to that? Let me just say this. Okay. So you talk about the children. Here's what I'd say.
Yeah.
Do we know that during the last administration, we had tens of thousands of children who were sex trafficked by cartels, who were brought into our country in profoundly dangerous.
That is fact. Now, that's a fact.
And predatory conditions.
Let's talk about this administration.
Oh, see, let's talk about this administration. We don't want to bring up what Biden allowed in this country. We don't want to bring up what Joe Biden did to this country. By all means, we don't want to know what the last administration did. You know, I mean, my Lord.
Here's the point. Unless you enforce the border, you invite that kind of conduct. You think that our immigration policies are inhumane based on the reporting of one person with a political bias. What
exactly.
I'm telling you is that it's inhumane to allow
exactly.
to sex traffic people across our border.
And by the way, please hold on.
I appreciate that. I'm going to get you back in.
We're coming back with more with the vice president.
See, she smiled at him. They know each other. They worked together on CNN. They were colleagues for a long time. She knows he's who he is. Even behind the scenes, he told Greg Gutfeld that one of them, I think Anna or one of them had told him something. They know that he's not bad. They do this for a show, guys. They put on this propaganda. They push this shit to divide the American people. Have you guys not woke up yet?
And I've got questions for you. Thank you. 2 things. You talk a lot about your Catholic faith, but the Catholic faith
it's sad.
We take in
that the American people allow people like this to disrupt and divide people.
Having a hard time. How do you justify both things?
So let me say first a couple things, Whoopi. So number one, the book is actually way less political than you might think if you were just watching this, because obviously we're getting into the issues of the day. Right. 95% of the book is really not about politics. I kind of have to write.
So that tells you she didn't read the book.
I want to answer your question.
Right. How are you going to have someone on and talk about a book if you don't even read it or know what it's about?
So fundamentally, if you think about what is immigration enforcement, immigration is law enforcement. It's somebody who has broken a law. A law enforcement officer has to show up and enforce that law. Mm-hmm. Now, inherently, sometimes
and they know that
is not always
they know that they know
if you capture a video clip of it. In the same way that if you arrest somebody for committing a violent or a non-violent crime, sometimes it's not.
We're going to capture 20 seconds of it and put it out there and show how bad and evil these people are.
Not always pretty. What I'm saying is the Catholic faith
and it's not always pretty.
I think it strikes the right balance here. Mm-hmm. It says the Christian faith, I think this is true of Protestants and Catholics, that you can have borders. Yeah. You're allowed to enforce your borders. That means the law enforcement piece of it. But you also have to take certain precautions and certain care. Okay. Uh-huh. And again, your argument is fundamentally, Whoopi, you're saying that we don't strike the right balance. I disagree with you about how we apply that, but nobody hopefully is saying we're not allowed to have a border. No, what I'm saying is that in order for us to actually enforce the law,
exactly,
you can't set a standard that says you're not allowed to deport anyone unless they've committed a violent crime. You've got to enforce the law equally.
So let me do my follow-up.
You don't have to raise your hand.
See, she gets mad.
Because you were talking about people. What did Black people do to this administration?
Nothing.
That has allowed it to really stigmatize folks of color.
What?
And you know how
here we go.
It is. You have family.
She's ridiculous.
So when you see,
you have a colored family, she was saying,
down, or them doing all kinds of removal of information.
Remove what?
What?
What Black heroes have they? What information have they removed? That's what I want to know. Like I said in my short I dropped yesterday, I think it was the Biden administration, wasn't it? Because I actually researched it. Thomas Jefferson statue down, a president. They took down the bronze soldier out of the Arlington Cemetery. They moved it. They took down Robert E. Lee, even though he was a Democrat. They took down a Supreme Court judge statue that wrote a damn good statue. They removed all kinds of American history, not white or Black, American history. They removed all kinds of shit during the Biden administration.
How does that sit with
and now she's saying, oh, y'all are tearing down Black heroes and taking down Black history. She is so brainwashed.
Well, what exactly are you talking about?
Yeah, he calls her out on this shit, and then he says he really thought Sunny was going to be the one that was racist towards him, but it actually ended up being Whoopi.
I'm talking about this. I can tell you off the.
No, I want to know what she's.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
Your actual point.
So in a lot of the
She don't have an answer.
Museums, there's so many.
She can't even answer it. See,
where they're taking
she has
down
no.
the actual history that happened.
She can't
in this
name
country.
one
Slavery
thing
happened.
that they're actually done. She just
all
says
kinds
the
of stuff
history.
happened, and it seems that it is.
She's just saying the history. They're taking down the history, and she can't name a one single thing that they've done.
Been very easy for this administration to remove that, and
See,
also
easy for this administration to remove it. Remove what? Name one thing. She can't even name it. She's a joke.
Integrate Black folks who have worked their behinds off to get this American dream. How do you? I mean, you know better.
You know better. You know better because you're married to an Indian.
Sonny, that was actually a very helpful intervention, because I think the story you're talking about is where, allegedly the administration is holding back the appointments of people based on
Allegedly, some dumbass reporter, somebody online has said this, so they believe it.
I'm talking about a host of things. I'm talking about Black history getting erased from public spaces. Black
Yeah,
voting
Whoopi's
districts are
dumb
being
as shit.
dismantled. Black leaders are being sidelined.
No, they're
from
not.
our ranks. Where do Americans of color fit in this vision?
Oh
Because it
my
doesn't seem like
God.
we fit.
I think
We don't fit in. We don't seem like we fit.
And if I may, since October.
No, you mean because there's common sense Black people out there that know better than this shit, and all your brainwashed Democrat Blacks are just, oh my God, they're ridiculous.
Of last year, there's been something like 6,668 refugees allowed into the country. All but 3 were white South Africans.
So first of all, I'm very skeptical of that number, because we have a lot of different immigration pathways in the United States of America. But let me just address that.
Yeah.
Look, first of all, you asked a question, and maybe you don't believe this coming from me, but I think everybody is welcome in our political coalition. Frankly, even if you didn't vote for us,
See, she's talking about political coalition.
welcome in our country, so long as you're an American citizen with the duties and the legal obligations and rights to be here. But let me just give
Exactly.
you an example of this.
Yeah.
Okay, so you say that we're anti-minority or anti-Black.
No, I didn't say that. I asked. See?
Well, okay, fine. Be fair.
Don't start any stuff
All
with
right,
me,
okay,
man. Don't
all right.
get me in trouble.
Well, no, you said, why are they taking down the Black? Why are we being excluded? You said, why are the Black people being excluded? He just answered in a different way.
I misinterpreted your question,
That's
but let me answer your actual question.
But he's big enough to admit it.
What I'm saying, I think, okay, look at Washington, D.C. One of the most democratic and one of the blackest, by share of population, blackest cities in the United States of America, has seen a radical decrease in violent crimes and sexual assaults and in murders. We have tried to take the crime issue seriously, in part because we believe everybody, whether you're Black or white or rich or poor, deserves to live in a safe neighborhood.
Why does the crime? Where does the crime step in? This is not about crime. This is about
lost their jobs.
Right. This is about human
Sonny,
rights.
what you're saying is we got to do more on the economy.
And Black history has been
Sonny,
erased from public
Black history
spaces.
is not.
Black history is being erased from public places. Really? You put a Black woman, fat Black lady statue in the middle of New York City. You put a George Floyd statue up. What a retard. It's being erased from public.
That's true.
No, it's not.
When we get back.
Yeah,
That's what he said. That's not
We got
true.
to do more on the economy.
And Black history has been
Sonny,
erased from public
Black
spaces.
history is not
That's
erased from
true.
public spaces.
See, he's laughing. He knows she's full of shit.
I'm telling you, we celebrate Black history. We celebrate
Exactly. We celebrate Black History Month. They even, it's all kinds of shit, man.
all American history.
Every city damn near has a Martin Luther King Boulevard fucking street name,
In this administration,
even though he was a degenerate and did drugs and slept with white women and cheated on his wife. But y'all don't want to believe that, though, do you?
might be skeptical of this, but I promise you,
I have to go to break. Anna, God, please.
See, she jumped onto Anna. That's who it was. She jumped onto Anna. God, please stop.
Vice President
Lost their jobs.
Right. This is about
Sonny,
human rights.
what you're saying is we got to do more on the economy.
And Black history has been erased from public
Black history
spaces.
is not erased from
That's
public
true.
spaces.
No, it ain't.
We'll get to Iran when we get back.
Yeah,
There's some very
guys,
important news to
I'm
get
telling
to.
you, we celebrate Black history. We celebrate all American history. In this administration, you guys might be skeptical of this, but I promise you, it's true.
I have to go to break. Anna, God, please. We have more with
Anna, God, please hush.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Oh, she got onto her during the commercial. She was like, "You don't do that when I'm talking."
President JD Vance, Joy has your question.
Okay, so in the book, Mr. Vice
Because they're all hackling
you make a
hens.
mea
They're
culpa
rude
of
as
sorts
shit.
for calling Democrats childless cat ladies.
Oh man, I'm
Okay.
not supposed
Here
to-
we go with the
You said
bullshit.
that in the book that it was boneheaded, which it was.
Thank you.
what were you thinking when you said that?
So Joy said when we were off air that I'm fine, which I think is about the best endorsement that I'm going to get out of Joy Behar for Republican. Thank you.
Exactly.
Graded on a curve here at the View. But I guess one of the things that I try to do, and I'm always, all of us are always learning. You said you were a lapsed Catholic. I'm a bad Catholic. I think all of us, that's why we need grace as Christians, is because we recognize that there are certain things we got to work on.
Right.
But here's what I'd say about that. So did that comment actually shed light on something and start a discussion, or did it just close people down? And when I make a comment that just closes people down, instead of trying to appreciate the point that I make, that's a mistake, right? And that's on me to do better.
Okay,
Because can I just say, the point that I'd say on that, Joy, is I do think in a very subtle, sometimes in a more
see, they try to cut him off so they can have their little clip, 30-second clips or minute clips of their talking point, but forget what he says. This is how they operate. Their editors cut this and edit to where it looks like they're all great, of course, and he can't respond. And they try to cut him off where he can't respond. So it makes it look like they're speaking truth and he can't respond and tell the truth.
Way.
And that's what they do.
Has become
every channel, everybody edits.
It's harder to travel. It's harder to go to a restaurant.
Mr. Vice President, your grandchild is arriving.
No grandbabies yet.
Yeah.
We're very excited for you and Usha, and we wanted to give you a few ones.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
We're gonna give you gifts. We're gonna go eat lunch with you. We're gonna talk to you behind the stage. We're gonna be friends, just like the Democrats and the Republicans do. They go and eat. Some of them go and eat lunch together, drink a beer together, do all this stuff. But they have the American people convinced every time they get in front of a camera that they're just back and forth, and some are, but it's like a pissing contest, you know what I mean? But they're friends behind the scenes. They're out for lunch, discussing things. They have the American people so twisted, and that's what they want. They want us at each other's throats in the streets so they can do what they want. Both sides, guys. I'll call it all out. Excuse me. I call out all the bullshit. I'm not just one-sided.
His new book, Communion, Finding My Way Back to Faith, is available.
I mean, y'all think I'm just one-sided. I'm not. I'll call out anybody and everything. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not going to just sit and sway on one side. So I know everybody thinks that, but it ain't. It's not.
Some of the most ridiculous questions, but yet again, you know what? What do we expect from the ladies of the View?
Yeah.
Whoopi Wildebeest Goldberg decided to take it upon herself. Why is this current administration trying to stigmatize Black Americans? Do you all feel stigmatized? Because I don't feel stigmatized. And then she goes on to say, oh, why is this current administration trying to erase Black heroes?
Yeah, don't listen to me. Listen to
what? Hero.
Listen to it coming out of people's mouth, man. The black people, they're telling you they're not a lot of them are telling you they're not oppressed. This is bullshit. They're not against us because just like the Carmelo Anthony shit, there are more black people with common sense that actually do not agree with that shit than there is that do.
It seems to me like you are.
They just promote it more online because it gets more clicks and more views. So they won't show you the real common sense black people that actually have structure, and they don't believe in this black and white shit. Just like me, I don't believe in this black and white stuff. I get along with everybody.
Burn to Black Hollywood. JD Vance is sitting there confused like all of us watching this. But what do you mean? What do you mean, Whoopi? I want to have a little clarity.
What's up, Brown Chicken? Good to see you.
A little clarity on what you said.
Weird chat today. Yeah, more liberals in here than usual, buddy.
She can't give no answer of an example on what she's referring to. Give us a half example. Give us a quarter of an example. You know, Black people.
Yeah, I know. It's not.
I feel like you all are taking the Black American dream. What American dream? What American dream? Black people have been in turmoil under the Democratic Party.
Yeah,
what are you talking
that's
about?
The truth. Yeah.
We don't have no damn American dream. You want to know why? Because Obama is living the American dream. How about that? You living the American dream. How about that? I get so sick.
That's the truth.
Black celebrities thinking they speak for all of us. You all are not the leaders of us. You all don't speak for us, Whoopi Wildebeest Goldberg.
Wildebeest.
Accuse somebody of something, but can't give no example. And you know, when she don't know what she's talking about, she use her fingers.
Yeah. Well, you notice that whole almost 30 minutes, she only said very few words. She's usually clackling. That whole freaking interview, she barely spoke because she knew a lot of shit that she was in the files. She knows. She barely spoke. She allowed all those other women. That's why every one of them was on the show with him. That's why she allowed the other ones to drill him and attack him, because she knew if she was said, he was going to bring up her past, and she didn't want that. And a lot of you people don't catch them kind of things, but I do. I can censor and see this stuff, because Whoopi's usually the leader of the show. You know, she does all the leading stuff. She had her mouth shut for that 30 minutes. She only said a few things, and she had her head down, or mostly the whole time. Go back and watch it.
Yeah, you know. Oh boy, when Whoopi brings out them fingers, you know she don't got a damn thing to say. She break dancing and shit. Doing a snake. Man, you.
Oh, he's funny. He's funny. Yeah. What else? What do we have up here? Let me go over here. I want to show you guys some of this. Is where he says it, I believe.
I expected them to be absolutely vicious, and they were only a little bit vicious.
Yeah, like right here, he's telling Greg Gutfeld about, you know, get out of that. Hang on, guys. Sorry, guys. We're having some difficulties. No, not really. I just had to do something. So this was last night, because he was on the 5. He went on Greg Gutfeld.
Honestly, Greg, I expected them to be absolutely vicious, and they were only a little bit vicious. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Joy Behar even said during the break, not joking, she said, "You know what? You're like pretty good for a Republican."
See?
And I was like, whoa, that is a way better compliment than I expected from Joy Behar.
So they talk, and they,
I thought that Sunny, the woman to my left, was going to call me a racist. In reality, it was Whoopi, the woman to my right, who called me a racist. So
see,
expectations were defied. Honestly, Greg, I expected
ain't that
them
something,
to be
man?
absolutely vicious, and they were.
That's just ridiculous. I don't like to get into those conversations of. You can't even play anything from like UFC. They hit me yesterday just because.
Would you please shut the fuck up?
They hit me yesterday on a copyright because I showed some of the UFC. Yeah, I don't care about sports. Let me see. Let me jump over here and see if we can find some of these reels. I love these reels, man. These people are just, they're awesome to sit and to look at, because some of these reels are just really just great, guys. I mean, here's my Instagram account. We're going to share this over here. So make sure you go follow it. It's under Ray's Motor Life. I'm over 43,000 something followers over here on this. Like I said, we have
so good. Guys,
the European people enjoying, the European people loving and enjoying America right now. Why? Because they are over here for the World Cup, or they're just visiting or vacationing. They completely love this guy here.
Say again, because once you hear the story, you probably understand why it would be risky.
This guy got arrested for posting
I'm not sure if
pictures.
you've heard the story yet,
Yes.
but there is a UK guy called John Booth.
They're getting
who
arrested for
vacationed
posting
in
pictures
Florida
while they were here in
on July
America.
the 4th. During his trip to Florida,
Is that not crazy?
John had posted some pictures shooting.
Yeah, Vance Rubio, 28.
Expressing the American Second Amendment. And he posted his freedom machines online.
He came over here and
West Yorkshire Police.
He came over here and shot a few pew-pews and did some training and stuff. And he posted them online. And now he's got arrested when he got back over there. Is that not crazy? I mean, that's just insanely crazy.
He visited John at his house.
Ain't that something?
Arrested him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say it again. They arrested John for posting a picture of him shooting guns whilst in America. John was arrested.
Tell me how ridiculous those countries are.
Those pictures in America.
That is insane.
This is absolutely wild. If I ever go back to the UK, am I going to be arrested for pictures that I posted living here in America?
Exactly. Now look at me. Look here. Let's go to this right here. Okay. I've got 1.1 million on that video, 2.3 on this video. These I just posted earlier. I've got hundreds of thousands and thousands of views. Let's see right here. I posted a picture 2 days ago or 3 days. Look here. It's got, let's see right here. Let's see where is that where I was showing it. Adam Francisco, shout out to him for reposting it. It's got over, let's see here on my phone here. Let's see real quick. Okay. As of right now, it's got, see, insights. Let's view insights. I've got 880,801 views. I've reached 964,000 accounts. Over 1,600 has visited my profile. I've gained just over this one picture 1,187 followers. I've got 130,000 over 130,000 heart likes. I've got over 3,000 comments. I've got almost 6,000 people reposting it. I've got over 30,000 people posting it to their story. And I've got over almost 6,000 people saving it in their profiles. Now you tell me, I'm telling you guys, just got to be consistent with social media. It's not hard to do. You just got to do it, man. You just got to, and I do all kinds of things over here. I just don't do one topic, one thing. I don't just do political stuff. I do funny things. I've got motorcycle content way down in the beginning. I've got a lot of stuff, man. I do a lot of stuff over here on my Instagram. So go follow it if you're on Instagram. It's under Ray's Motor Life. You can follow. You can find all that stuff in my links in my description on my YouTube channel.
It's French.
Yeah, we're going to look up this right quick. Let's see.
And start saying Vive l'Amérique.
Search right here.
I just had Texas barbecue for the first time in my life. Better than any moment in my life. And I am married and have 2 kids. Oh, but in France, you have des crêpes, les petits pains au chocolat, les croissants. No, I give my left croissant for a Texas brisket.
A Texas brisket. Yeah, these people are like really loving
Costco.
Cold beer. You can't manage niggas. You can't.
What?
Miss you more.
What'd you say?
I've been working with them for 45 years. A nigga just ain't gonna do the right thing. He got an attitude about everything. Pastor.
Who's bigger than my village.
That's
where I live. Whatever you want at Costco, it's there. You just show up and you could buy your whole life.
Loving America.
We need to start a revolution just to get Costco in France. I will be the first one to say I will start a revolution to get a Costco.
Let's see if these people. Yeah, right here. This couple is awesome.
Right behind me is the world's biggest gas station. Only America can make a gas station an attraction that everybody wants to come and see.
I'm not sure what we're going to expect in here, but let's go see what we can
Yeah,
find.
they love
it. I wasn't expecting this.
Americans, your
this is the Smoky Mountains.
So
of course, we do have the most beautiful places.
America, we need to talk. We need to talk about how beautiful and amazing
A lot of these people come over here for the World Cup, and
today we're in Zion, showing my brother around.
They love
America. In America. But I don't think people realize how big, large, wild, full of wildlife, full of animals that America is. There is nothing quite like American national parks.
The media portrays Americans.
See, their media, yes. See, these people know the truth. Their media portrays that America's like a third world shithole. We're nasty. Yeah, maybe New York and Los Angeles and California right now because they're Democrat run in the ground. We know that.
Lazy.
Listen to this guy, though. Listen to him, what he's saying. Their media dogs America so bad that they have this expectation of coming over here and being in a very bad experience. But that's not the truth. It's farthest from the truth.
All the above. And it's further from the truth.
See?
The amount of hospitality and kindness and care and pride Americans hold is truly like no other country I've been to. And to show you a perfect example of that, today is Flag Day, National Flag Day. And I went to the Huntsville Square. They did the whole ceremony where they lower the flag and I guess put a new flag up for the year. And that was obviously followed by the American national anthem.
Yeah, we can't play the music.
How can anybody not love
America?
Look where we are.
They love Buc-ee's. They love Buc-ee's. I live like 30 minutes away from one, 35.
For the whole family.
I don't even hardly go to it anymore. I've seen it. I've eaten there. Why would you share the bad
So I
food?
literally just came to a restaurant and I told the server, I love America and it's amazing here. And she just said to me, are you being sarcastic?
Yeah. Like, are you being
And I'm like, why?
They don't
why is it
realize
like that?
Yeah. Because
Why is it
some
like that
Americans
here?
are shitty,
Why
man.
do people think
Because some Americans are shitty and they say, really? We don't like America's, certain people that live certain places, they're like, are you being for real? Like, we don't like it here. That's libtards, blue hair or pink hair dudes and weak ass men and women. No, the real people, patriots, we love America. And she's like trying to figure out, this couple's trying to figure out, why would they say that? We have nothing like this in our country.
you're crazy for loving it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
It's
like, we
weird.
love it.
I mean, I feel like it's such an amazing country. And,
We love it.
People love giving bad news.
Yeah.
People love telling you the bad news.
Well, yeah, that's all they portray on the media. Even social media.
Amazing country. Proud to love it.
Yeah.
I'm having Fly Guys.
They're Five Guys. They're Five Guys.
Never had Five Guys.
So this is, okay, so apparently this is it shrimp? Yeah. Shrimp with grits, apparently. And this is the grits.
That's it.
Okay? Never tried this before.
There's tons and thousands of people, guys, that come here.
It's like creamy porridge.
Now, listen, there's a video going around. I think I shared it on my story. I'll look at it and see if I did in a minute. I don't know if it was I don't think it was China, but one of those Asian countries. They're over here. They actually, when the damn soccer game was over, they all turned around and started cleaning up all the shit. They respected this place, and that's how they do. They respect themselves enough. They turned around and was cleaning up all the trash out of the stadiums.
This is how amazing Americans are, right? Can you imagine flying two Americans to London, right? It's on us, and they bought homemade cake. Wow, that looks incredible. Like, American hospitality is the best thing. It never ends. I mean, Brits are taking homemade food to America.
Try some.
Should we try some? I mean, homemade.
A ton of them are shocked because they think we're this, hateful.
Do you know what that's made with?
people.
Love.
But
Yeah.
hey,
Made
when
with
they
love.
come to the
Have a
South,
bite.
though,
Yeah.
every one of them has
Wow.
said, every person I've seen that's from a different country that's come to the South, the Southeast especially, that we do talk a little slower, that they can understand us, even though we have accents. And they love the South because the hospitality, where everybody says hi, everybody waves at you, all that good stuff. I said, well,
America, we love you.
and they were trying to figure out why. I said, because all you need is a wraparound porch, some sweet iced tea, some cornbread or homemade biscuits, and fellowship. We love it. We love the South. It's a tradition. We're just country folk. We're Southern folk, I should say, not country. We're Southern. If you're a true Southern, you know what I mean.
This is
First impressions of Miami as a Brit who's never been to America in his life. There is so much more
Miami's
Hispanic
wild,
culture
man.
than I thought there would be in Miami. I thought I was coming to America. I've not met that many English-speaking
No,
people
you ain't.
since I've been here.
Come
particularly
north,
taxi
dude.
driving.
Go up.
Scotland is playing in Foxborough, Massachusetts.
You actually have to go up to around central, northern Florida, Georgia, Alabama if you want to meet Americans. Tennessee. This couple, they've got a whole channel on coming over here. This couple here, they've done a whole channel, a YouTube channel and Instagram of them coming to America. I think they're like going to move over here. Like they fell in love with our trucks, the jacked up, Dodges and Chevys and all that. This couple here they're funny. They're a good channel to watch.
What is going on here?
Are you seeing what is on this plane?
What's up, people, Rick? How you doing, buddy?
You mean Trey?
Trey.
This looks like a proper Southern barbecue for me.
Hey,
Yeah, look at the size of this.
He's eating the barbecue wrong, man.
I know you're from where you're from.
We're foreign. What we don't know what
We're
to do.
foreign.
Stop with the knife.
Yeah, this ain't how you eat barbecue,
You
buddy.
don't need a knife?
No, you
Truthfully, I thought he was blind, and I thought that's why he was doing it, but he wasn't. He's actually saying, you don't cut your food here. You don't cut your barbecue ribs up here. You just pick them up and eat
fire
them.
with your hand and listen.
Yeah. Get
And you
rid of the
take
fork.
your fingers
Yeah.
and you lift that up and you eat it.
Okay.
Not with a
Get
fork.
your fingers messy, man.
Absolutely.
There's a bathroom there to wash your hands for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, sorry.
Enjoy.
That's why any barbecue place you go to, 9 out of 10 times, they hand you a roll of paper towels. They don't hand you a napkin. They hand you a roll of paper towels because they know you're fixing to get it all over your hands and your face, maybe even your shirt if you're a messy eater.
Holding your food and eating it like that.
Yeah, eat it like a man, dude.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Okay. No.
I'm sorry I let it get that far.
No. Our mistake. Our
He
mistake
does
completely.
say,
We're not used to.
can you imagine eating some of their food and meat? Because he says he never had meat that just falls apart in your mouth. Like their meat is tough, I guess.
Meat being soft enough to just rip it apart without a
Meat
knife.
being soft enough just to rip it
That's not
apart.
normal.
Like,
Mate, cheers. The best
look, they're trying to hold it with their tips of their fingers. Man, just grab that food. Grab those ribs, bro. You don't just hold it with your tips.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Lick your finger. Don't be scared to hold it.
So I'm a Brit living in America, and I want to tell you 3 things that I love and make my life so much better living in America that England does not have. So the first one is tumble dryers. In England,
They don't have
in
dryers.
England, we do not have tumble dryers. I've never had a tumble dryer until now.
See how much
This is
stuff
not
they don't allow in their countries? And this is why a lot of them are so healthy because they don't allow all that processed and frozen food and all that shit. Most of the people that Brits and the Europeans that come over here or anybody that comes over here, they're so amazed by our food. And yes, it's delicious. It's tasty. It's sweet. It's because, and you see most of them are skinny, healthy. It's because and I wish America would make more stricter rules on our food. I really do, because it's a health thing, for our children and grandkids and us is too. So I really wish they would be more strict on food. RFK Jr. is trying, and I wished he would get some more stricter rules because you can go in any store, anywhere, you can grab any kind of food you want, and it's unhealthy. It really is. And these people love it because they don't get this over there. They don't, just like she said, they don't even have dryers to dry your clothes with. Now, they don't allow a lot of that stuff in their countries. And they wonder why that they're charging us so much, tariffs, and we don't charge them because they're not. It's crazy. Everything combines together.
To make things hard for ourselves. We just do. What do you have? We just wash it, put it on a washing line. In the
Yeah, you put it on. They put their clothes on a clothesline. Now we did that growing up. Us country folk, our grandparents, all that, they would hang it on a clothesline and let it dry. Nothing wrong with that. A lot of people still do that today, but that's how they dry their clothes. If you ever go and look at their their housing over there in Europe and Britain and all these places, UK and different places, like their houses, the way they're like, they look like brownstones, and out back, their little yards are, you know, privacy fenced in, you know, usually like a 20 feet by 30 or something like that. Every one of them has clotheslines. Just go look it up. Because they dry their clothes outside, they hang them on a clothesline. They don't have, and it may be because they don't want that kind of product coming into their country. More than likely, they don't want, you know, that stuff coming in their country. And this is another reason why I say they're healthier, because they don't allow all that processed frozen foods and all that crazy stuff into their country, and they're just amazed by our food.
Thoughts?
Wait, everything's dried on a line.
Yeah, and then it gets wet because it's rains. Okay.
See?
Number 2. Are you ready for this? Coffee creamer.
Coffee creamer.
What?
They don't have
that
it
in England.
Yeah, they don't have coffee creamer in England.
We put milk.
They have
Coffee
milk.
creamer
They have milk.
makes my mornings so much better. I'm so happy.
In your mouth.
Number 3 is just a
Party in
funny
your mouth.
one.
What was my-
Is Venmo. We don't have Venmo.
We don't have Venmo.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't have
We
Venmo.
don't, like, what do we use? PayPal?
Yeah, they don't have Venmo. They don't. Some of them don't even have Cash App. Yeah, so they don't have that in their countries. Is that not amazing? That's wild, ain't it? I got some stuff done. Can't stay. Okay, cool, man. Have a good day. Is that not wild though? They don't even have certain things like.
Here are 3 American sayings that I love hearing. Number 1 is bet. They use it everywhere. I even personally use it myself. In a sentence, you could just be like, yeah, I'm going to go run to the store. And you're like, yeah, bet.
That's true, though.
Number 2 is y'all.
Y'all.
Literally the most American Southern saying ever.
We say that a
I live
lot.
in the South and hear it all the time. Someone's like,
I say,
y'all
y'all
going
over
to a
there
bar
don't
tonight?
know.
Hell yeah, I am. And number 3 is have a blessed day. Americans say
that's
this
just
at the
the
end
Southern-
of conversations.
yeah,
and I
that's
think it is.
mostly
If you
Southern.
don't like it in this country, then fuck off.
Yep, say no more.
He said, yep. We're done. He said, I will. That's why I said this. I wish we could exchange all these people that's coming over here that love America, that's got common sense, with all our libtards and you know, blue-haired freaks. I wish we could just do like a exchange program. Let's exchange all these cool ass Brits and stuff for our libtards, you know. This is the only thing bad about Instagram. They play
It was
music.
more than anything, and we're here right now.
They just play music constantly. But if you go look on Instagram, look up, you know, Brits or foreign people coming to America, guys, I'm telling you right now, you'd be amazed how many people love this place, man. How many people are like just amazed by it.
Hello, I'm the boss.
He said, I'm the boss. Damn right.
How are you? Good, thank you.
You heard that. Trump said, I'm the boss.
Okay.
He may not be leading that G7, but
Hello, I'm the boss.
he may not be leading the G7, but he's still the boss.
This line of attack against
This is ridiculous. These people are so, oh my God. How do these people even get away with half these lies that they tell? I want to see this. And I know a lot of people don't understand it, but I'm into the political
this line
stuff.
of attack against Michelle Obama has been going on in
For
right-wing
years.
extremist circles for years and years
Yep.
and years. So he doesn't want to confront it.
Well,
because
we
it would
know.
mean confronting
We
part
all
of his
know the
base.
truth.
He doesn't want to condemn it or apologize for that because he thinks that shows weakness. But all I'll say is this:
He
whenever
apologized.
there is a Democrat
Speaking
back
what
in-
he believes. He believes that Michelle Obama's a Big Mike, you know, his name's Big Mike. So it is what it is.
the White House, and they invite Robert De Niro, and Robert De Niro stands in the White House and says "fuck Trump," or starts talking about, you know, what Melania Trump did. I don't want anybody. Who has-
See, she actually pushed back. Oh my God, she actually said something with common sense. Did you hear that? What's wrong with the UFC fighter saying that about Michelle Obama when they invited Robert De Niro to the White House? The Bidens did, and he said F Trump and all this stuff. So finally, she says something. Finally, Anna Navarro.
his base. He doesn't want to condemn it or apologize for that because he thinks that shows
Finally, she
weakness.
says
But
something.
all I'll say is this: whenever there is a Democrat back in the White House and they invite Robert De Niro,
Oh no, she's saying when they invite Robert De Niro and he says it, they don't want to hear nothing. How about he's already said it? How many Democrats, how many public people or famous people has actually been in the White House that says F Trump?
And Robert De Niro stands in the White House and says, fuck Trump.
He's already done.
Talking about.
There's already been, look at Scott's face. There's already been actors and musicians that stood there and said, we've actually thought about blowing up the blah, blah, blah. Johnny Depp, Madonna, they've stood on the court, on the Capitol protesting, saying crazy stuff about getting rid of Trump. Nobody said anything then, did you? You didn't say nothing then. You didn't say, oh, I don't want to hear them saying that.
You know, what Melania Trump did. I don't want anybody who has remained silent right now raising their hand or saying a thing.
What did Melania Trump do? Made a movie? Made a documentary about coming back to the White House?
Because it's gotta, you know, there's things that are just condemnable. These are the same people who want a comedian fired because of a lame joke about Melania Trump. And yet they don't have the, you know, the guy said he had the balls to host the UFC, but he doesn't have the balls to condemn what is clearly condemnable.
Let me play with Dave Portnoy.
These people are, look at this. This is the cackling hens. This was JD Vance yesterday on the View. Yeah. That's probably what he was thinking the whole time. Yeah. Exactly what he was thinking.
To this administration.
Let's see what these libtards are talking about. These Democrats. I love watching Scott Jennings because he just shows the ridiculousness of these people's mouth. I mean, and all he has to do is let them speak. They out themselves most of the time. So White House ballroom cost up to $600 million.
Yeah, I would rather see my taxpayer dollars go toward quite literally anything.
Exactly.
I want to see the first family and the president be safe. Of course, I pray for their safety. That is something we can all agree on at this table.
But you
No,
also say
they
you
all
use
don't
tax
agree
dollars
on
to go
that.
for anything else other than this. There's two parts to the project. There's the social space, which I think you acknowledged is needed, and now
They don't all
agree on that. Proper process to get it approved.
Then there is the security space. I read the Washington Post reporting on this tonight. 3 experts who reviewed the documents related to the project say
Exactly.
it was appropriate
He had a
for the
woman
Secret
under the
Service and
damn
White House military
store
office
giving
to
him
pay for
head.
parts of the project that fall within their mission.
Oh,
the
nobody's
mission
arguing that.
is keep the first family.
They won't mention that though. They don't mention.
I'm leaving.
Where are you going? Okay, be careful. Exactly. And yes, yeah. What all did he do in office? Yeah. I mean, seriously, like how much shit did Bill Clinton get away with? I mean, come on. He even admitted it and they impeached him. He still was president. I mean, they act like Trump is so bad, but look at all these other ones.
Family and the White House safe.
Yeah, I would rather see my taxpayer dollars go toward quite literally anything. I want to see the first family and the president be safe. Of course, I pray for their safety. That is something we can all agree on
These
at this
people,
table.
yeah, no, you don't. You don't like it.
Listen, there are Democratic presidents that get elected, and I don't win. I fight hard.
Sean Hannity, let's see what he's saying.
Much, and what Robert De Niro and so many on the left forget, your president is not your country. Your government is not your country. And you
Exactly.
can love your government and still love your country. And
Exactly. You can still love your country. Hush.
AOC could become president tomorrow. I would still love this country. With every
Exactly. AOC, any of them could, Gavin Newsom could become president. I still love my country. I still love it because we have the freedoms to love it. We have the right to love it. We have, America is the beautiful, man. Now, you may not like who's in office. You may not like your politicians, but you can change that by voting. But if you don't love this country, get out. That's what I'm going to say. Because the country's great. The things we get to do and experience, and every state has its own like parks and different sceneries and mountains and weather. It's like going to a different country, just visiting other states.
Listen, there are Democratic presidents that get elected, and I don't win. I fight hard. I want to win every election. I think they're all important. Obama won twice, Biden won once, and you know what? I still love my country.
Yeah, and actually polls tend to show that Republicans are pretty steady when it comes to loving their country, no matter who's in office, whereas Democrats, it ebbs and flows because to them, patriotism has to be conditional on whether their party wins. And that's not patriotism at all, right? That's just being partisan and politically driven. But that just shows you the two halves of this country right now.
All right, at least, last but not least, more woes for the Democrats. Joe Biden won't go away ever. He even has a pending book this coming just before the midterms. David Axelrod, not so happy.
Yeah, the Bidens are broke. He's trying to make another book. He's trying to write another book.
To leave the stage.
Yes.
He should
He's trying to make more money because he spent the $25 million he made as president.
You know, Biden's going to remind people they don't want people.
Like I said, every president has benefited off being president. That's their right to. That's what they get to do. Joe Biden can't help it that Hunter Biden blew through his $25 million. You can't live on $25 million. You do have a dope problem. You do have a serious issue if you can't live on $25 million. We can't help it that mush brain Biden was not smart enough to make $100 million, like Obama made $70 million, and still making tons of millions off Netflix and books and speaking arrangement. Michelle Obama's making $500,000 and more every time she goes to a college or anywhere and speaks. Now, is that right? You guys are going to say, well, yeah, she gets to do it. That's what she gets. So it's right for anybody else to do it. If you're important enough and you have enough clout to make that kind of money, then power to you.
To remember the cover-up that they perpetuated for 4 years straight. And it wasn't just Democrats, it wasn't just his cabinet, it was the propaganda press. It was all these left-wing outlets that were complicit in this cover-up, and they don't want the American people remembering that they did that to the American public.
Unbelievable. Let me ask you the last question. Are people ever hostile because you're with Fox?
Oh, all of a sudden they're like,
Of course, people are hostile to her all the time. Spencer Pratt back at it again.
A lot of times.
Why do they have to try to keep playing music and all their shit, man? Thunderstorm shut down something? Okay. Machine Gun Kelly? Yeah, who cares? He's a ridiculous dude.
Who was an alcoholic and died an alcoholic. Yeah. Your mother entered recovery. She's doing great. And I do believe that the underpinning in that is a meaning question. Yes. That, like, when you look at the 12-step programs, they try to address the underlying causes of drinking, which a lot of it has to do with meaning.
Absolutely.
And I mean, how valuable was that to see your mom? Because, like, when someone gets into a 12-step program, it affects your life too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
In
fact,
it affects everybody
I've gone to a
around
number of NA or AA meetings with my mom.
It affects
and they're
everybody around
amazing,
you.
but they're also spiritual. There's a lot of talk about God. There's a lot of
Exactly.
talk about Jesus at these
It's faith.
meetings. Even though
It's
they welcome
faith.
everybody, there is this spiritual underpinning that I think makes it.
Yes, because everybody needs a higher power. Exactly what they talk about in recovery.
Work, but you know, it's an amazing thing just about the redemptive story that God sometimes puts us on, because I'm sitting here right now, I'm the Vice President of the United States.
Nero
Crazy,
is
even when I say it.
Yeah,
And I have a 9-year-old son, and I remember when Usha was pregnant with that baby boy, I thought to myself, my mom is never going to meet this child, because the addiction was, you know, she had been clean and sober for about a year, but I'd seen her fall off the wagon before. And I thought to myself, she'll probably never meet this baby. And yet,
I don't know if he's the first AI president. He is the first president. I think he's the first president that's had body doubles, like five different body doubles.
God speaks to us, all of us, in our own ways.
I think,
and one of the ways that I learned that He has a plan for everybody is seeing my mom transform her life and transform herself.
My
It's
life.
crazy. My mom goes around and talks to addict groups, and she talks about.
Yeah, I was in prison. I did prison time. I was an addict for years. I've got 17 years sober, clean. I think we all have a purpose, and I think this is one of my purposes, is to spread this information that I disseminate this stuff to you guys. And I've got more into social media by streaming, bringing you guys the truth and facts and content
about how to get back on the horse.
And
When
I
you
love
fall off
doing
the
that.
horse, you
That's
gotta
what I
keep
love
getting
doing.
back
But
on.
don't forget
that
to support
redemption
the
is
show,
a big
guys.
part of what makes Christianity.
Got to support the show, guys. What is this fool talking about?
More fake. I know. You're
Be
saying
more
Andrew
fake.
Tate telling me not to be real, but he's the top G. He's as real as it gets. Why doesn't he want me to be real? Because you fucking suck. That's why. Because you fucking suck. Spoke to someone the other day. They were boring and rude. And I was like, why are you so rude? And why is everything you say boring?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to be fake. Well, then maybe you should start.
He says it. He says it just
Maybe
like
you
he
should
means
start
it,
being
man.
fake. Maybe you should change your whole personality. Maybe you should just act permanently. Maybe you should just fake it for the rest of your life. Because you know the real you, it's crap.
Oh,
the real you
Lord.
blows. Okay? I met the real you. And I wish you were.
That's funny. All right, guys. Just don't forget. Come on, man. You guys got to support the show, man.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate.
Don't forget. Always support your streamers. Always support your favorite shows, guys. Yeah, that's a little bit of Elon stuff, I guess. Yeah. Uh-oh.
The coalition that made Donald Trump the president of the United States and JD Vance, the vice president of the United States, people have to remember this. It was mega.
This was, see, he's hitting everything because he's selling a book. And he just ain't going on this, vice president tour. He's going on a book tour as well. So normally they're going to,
the coalition that made Donald Trump the president
share
of the United States
things.
and JD Vance, the vice president of the United States, people have to remember this. It was Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan. It was also Mark Levin. It was also a lot of people like John Podowitz.
She don't like Mark Levin anymore at all. She can't stand Mark Levin.
Want a more aggressive foreign policy. What I think is important, I'm never going to say that John Podowitz is not welcome in the Republican Party. He is. But just as he's disappointed right now, sometimes other people are going to be disappointed at other times. You can't just quit politics because the leader of a country of 330 million people makes a decision you disagree with.
Exactly.
I agree with you. I know a lot of people.
You can change sides.
They're very, very angry over the Iran war. It was like their number one issue.
Well, you
And they
ain't.
feel like
How
Trump
much
is
shit
not
have
the
you
man
talked
they thought
about
he
it,
was
Megyn
because he
Kelly?
betrayed that promise and didn't explain much about it. And I understand their feeling too.
How much have you said about it, Megyn Kelly?
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too. Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it.
We've seen enough of those cackling. And I don't even play him anymore because he's. Look at this. Here's spot the difference. Spot the difference, guys.
I'm the boss.
I'm the boss. Exactly. I'm the boss.
How are you? Good, thank you.
Do y'all not spot the difference? Look at this mush brain on the left here. Joe Biden. He don't even know where he's at. He's walking up. This fool's over here chasing butterflies in left field. Trump comes in. He's not even the leader of the G7 this time. He's just a guest, and he's saying, I'm the boss, because he is. They laugh. They know he's the boss. They know he's the man in charge. Every one of them love him, or they respect him, or they're scared of him. Much brain. Oh, look, there's a butterfly. Oh, look. Come on, man. Yeah, these guys.
Where's all the condemnation from the other black people? Did black people condemn this vicious act of human evil against another human? No. They raised $800,000 to defend the murderer from accountability.
Yeah.
Not only did the black community rally in his defense, saying free him and raising money for his legal defense, they also protested outside the courthouse, demanding that he be let go even today, saying he was provoked. He was acting in self-defense. So is it a human being thing? Is it ever? Was it a human being thing when it was George Floyd, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, O.J. Simpson? Was it a human being thing when it was Emmett Till threatening to rape that white girl? No, it's never a human being thing. It's always a racial thing. And at a certain point, we need to confront this. You can ignore it. You can avoid it. You can try and sidestep that conversation. But at the end of the day, why is it that we can't live in major cities? A huge part of it is because of this criminal population. And
I agree.
Not all of them. Everybody knows that. It almost doesn't even need to be said. We all know not every single black person's a criminal.
Yep.
And we all know not every single black person is a racist against white people. We all know that.
Exactly.
However, we also know
we know
the
the truth.
You're not able to go safely on the subway at night or during the day is because of this contingent. I don't know how big it is. I'm not going to put a percentage on it, but there is a contingent among the black population that makes it unsafe for everybody, blacks and whites included,
That's
Hispanics
true.
and Asians.
It's true.
That's why you can't ride on the subway and your kids to school in the
in all things, because if you agree with someone just based on race alone and not on like the logic of it, is this person right or wrong? Is it right or wrong to murder? Then I don't really want to be around you. And anyone else who doesn't want to be around you, I don't see them as wrong either, because you could be potentially dangerous or side with dangerous people if you cannot condone murder when it's just a cold-blooded murder, and that's what it is.
Yeah, I do think there has been a very big lack of condemnation for this. People are trying to make it. They keep running with the internet narrative that he was jumped, he was assaulted, but that's been debunked.
Well, like we said, it's all been debunked.
Said that wasn't true. 6 of those witnesses are black.
People love to make up their own stories about Carmelo or K-Mello or Watermelon Felon or whatever they're calling him.
Are they lying? Are they lying? Like now the black people who they called into question to tell the truth
Come
and
on,
what happened is a liar. At what point
truth? I mean, let me just show you something real quick. Let me just show something real quick. Here, let me see what I've got in my file. I got this. Someone sent me this morning. And I want to see if I still have it, if I even have it in my file. Okay, here we go, right here. Let's open this up. Let's see if we can share this file. This is what they're creating now. I mean, you see this? Tickle me mellow. I mean, hey, I'm mellow. That's what they're saying. Now, they're creating this stuff with AI, but, I mean, it's kind of crazy. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Is this appropriate, or is it appropriate for the other channels like the Black Tucker Carlson channel on X to make all these memes and stuff about, Austin Metcalf? Because it's pretty disgusting, because like I said, we'll jump up here and we'll show it. I'm not scared to show this stuff. I mean, this is what I want to trade the good Brits and the good people from UK for. Get rid of this lady. You
need to die.
See, she's a nutbag.
And I mean this. I don't give a
My own brother supports ICE and the Trump administration. I don't care for his life anymore, is what she's saying. Now, she's saying this about her brother.
You support ICE.
Yeah,
you
imagine.
support this president. You're the traitor.
So you imagine what she's saying, how she feels about her brother. Can you imagine how she feels about any other American? I mean, come on, guys. These are the people I want to trade those good Brits I showed earlier, the people from Australia and Britain and UK and all that, those ones that come over here and love America and that's common sense. Can we do a swap program? Can we swap people like her or him or whatever the fuck it is? Can we swap these people? Can we do an exchange program? You guys can take us I tell you what, since people like her love socialism and woke shit, and Europe is completely woke and Britain's went completely woke and they love that, let's swap them for the common sense people. They can have our pink, yellow, blue hair people all day long. They can have every one of them, as long as we get the common sense Brits and people, the European people. Let us get the patriotic European people, and we'll send them our libtards. Bottom line, yeah, you can't even show anything about UFC. Yeah, these are the Democrats. This was their Biden White House. Yeah, this was their stuff versus Trump. Yeah, versus the cool stuff. Yeah, so you can imagine. I choose Trump any day of the week, twice on Sunday over this stuff. Yeah, he made it clear he's the boss. Let's see if we can find that guy. I think, let's look up right here, the Black Tucker Carlson. This guy, yes, he's got 178,000 followers. Why? Because he makes this stupid AI stuff, and it's ridiculous.
Out of his death. The people who are getting Confederate flags and bags of Skittles signed by George Zimmerman. The people who still shoot up Emmett Till's memorial till this day. Judge them by the content of their character. These memes about Austin Metcalf are deplorable, but just them. Only judge them being black people. Don't judge the people who are making.
No, people judge the other people.
Out of his death. The people who are getting Confederate flags and bags of Skittles signed by George Zimmerman. The people who still shoot up Emmett Till's memorial till this day. The people who still shoot up Fred Hampton's memorial till this day. Don't judge the people who, in your parents' and grandparents' lifetime, were making postcards out of lynchings. Photographs, postcards, souvenirs, including pieces of the rope and body parts.
This is the closed-minded Democrat black guy. See, look. They love making these memes. They love making Carmelo after. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Here's a watermelon felon right there. It's ridiculous. This guy makes all these men, and then they say, "Oh, it's white people. It's white people." No, this guy's black. This guy's doing a. Why would you let somebody punch you? Put your fist up. All his hours. See, this is the kind of shit this guy's making. He says it's dark humor and stuff. It's actually ridiculous. And then they say, "Oh, well, the dad's mad. The dad's mad. The dad said watermelon felon." Well, that's because all he has to see online for over a year is stuff like this right here. But he doesn't get to grieve. He doesn't get to say anything about his son because he has a order to no speaking, on anything. So he doesn't get to say anything for over a year now. And now he's getting to. Yes, I'd be pissed off too. If every time I seen or went on social media or seen something or somebody trying to show me that these people are making this kind of shit, I don't think the dad was racist. I just think that everything was built up. He lost a son. He didn't lose him like, oh, he was in a car wreck or something. He was murdered. His son was murdered. There's a difference in saying, well, he lost his son, blah, blah, blah. No, he didn't lose his son. His son was murdered. And for someone to say some crazy shit like, oh, blah, blah, blah. This lady's a disgusting Democrat, guys.
Where he was
Do you know who this lady is? She's the left's like Joe Rogan-ish, wants to be Joe Rogan. These women are like the left's Joe Rogan. They're disgusting. She's got another lady that speaks with her sometimes too. And they're look at that. Ugly as fuck, man. How would you lay down next to that thing every night?
I just think it's rich for JD Vance to stand on a stage that Charlie Kirk made where he was so sexist, misogynist, and tell us about how he wants to protect women. Fuck you, JD Vance.
Really? See, this is how they push their agenda.
Sitting there saying, oh, child suffering. Child suffering is not allowing women to have affordable child care.
To become men? Child suffering to her is not allowing kids to take puberty blockers and cut off their willy whackers and say they're girls. That's child suffering to you, lady, for us to stop that shit. No, that's the right thing to do. Kids don't need to be doing none of that stuff. First of all, if you sure as hell ain't got no kids, you have no right to even try to tell a parent what they should or what they can do with their children. I heard a guy yesterday or the day before telling somebody, you don't have the right to tell your kid not to be gay, a 15-year-old kid, your son not to be gay. And the guy says, as long as he lives under my house, he'll follow my rules. Now, he wants to be gay. He can do that when he turns outside, when he turns 18. The guy was like, you don't have the right to tell him. Yes, you do. You're his parent. You're the one that don't have the right to sit and tell these kids they can do what they want because you don't have kids. And this is why all the trans shit started, because all these parents fucking and teachers came out telling these kids they didn't have to listen to the parents. They could say they was a girl if they wanted to. They could do whatever they wanted to. That's what makes me sick and disgusted with these people, because they say you can't tell your kid. Bullshit. That's my kid. I had kids for a reason, to raise them the way I wanted to and take care of them the way I wanted to. Not so I didn't have kids so someone else could raise my kids and teach them things. I had kids to teach them and raise them and to teach them right from wrong and how to live in this fucked up society.
Healthcare. 70% of.
Thank God my daughters didn't turn out weirdos. They have common sense.
Oklahomans don't have access to gynecological care in their county because doctors don't want to work here because they will go to jail if they assist them in getting an abortion.
Good.
Child suffering is a.
Stop unaliving children, babies. We need more babies in this country. Guys, don't forget to support the channel. Hit that Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal.
Pedophile ring with elites in this country, including
you,
but not limited to.
But you didn't say that when Biden was in office with 400,000 kids go missing. Now that the Trump administration is saving hundreds of thousands of them, you ain't got nothing to say about that, though, do you? See, they don't want to talk about those talking points.
Donald Trump, sex trafficking.
It's all fucking
and raping young girls and sitting
It's
around.
all about fucking, you know, TDS. We got Trump derangement syndrome. Can't play all our other shit because they're ridiculous.
This deal. I mean, the JCPOA done by Obama, he handed him $1.7 billion in cash, gave him hundreds of millions of dollars.
Now, Trump's saying this is what Iran said to Obama.
But nobody could have made this deal. I mean, the JCPOA done by Obama, he handed him $1.7 billion in cash, gave him hundreds of millions of dollars, gave him billions and billions of dollars, but he gave him $1.7 billion in cash, green cash from banks, into a Boeing 757.
Yeah, had pallets full of green cash. Our money.
And flew it into
Wasn't their
Iran.
money.
And they stood at the plane.
I don't care what they
like,
say.
oh my, look at this money he's getting.
Yeah, look,
He's trying
this
to bribe
idiot just gave us the $1.something billion. God, he's stupid. How much more shit can we get from these Democrats?
his way out. I didn't do that. Nobody mentions that.
See, yeah, Trump's like, I didn't do that shit. Nobody mentions that I didn't give in to him.
$1 billion and hundreds of millions of dollars. They tried to bribe their way out of it. And you know what the Iranians did? They laughed at Obama and they said he's a stupid son of a bitch.
See? Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much, everybody. Yeah, exactly. Look at this one. She's like, F you, libtards.
Bro,
Chains
them
here.
boys are gonna want to check them fucking gang signs he was throwing up. Now I know we could all say he was just being a kid, throwing some dumb shit up, posing for a fucking picture. They don't give a fuck down there. Them
No,
motherfuckers
they don't
will use
care.
any excuse to get active.
This
Two
guy's
things
name
will happen.
Chains, real
Either
Chains or
fucking
something on
they
Instagram.
check that shit, or
He's got a
they
big channel.
capitalize off that GoFundMe fund that his parents have.
Well, yeah,
There's
they'll
only
try
two
to.
ways you survive a bid. Either you're a fucking savage,
They'll try
or you
to.
pay for protection.
Yep.
He ain't going to no medium security. That motherfucker caught a murder rap. He's
Yeah.
going to a level 5 state prison.
Yeah, he's
and
going
them
to big time.
motherfuckers sling knives every fucking day.
Yep.
And if you couldn't catch a fade with a white boy at a fucking track meet without stabbing him, you're gonna have a hard time when them boys jump on your ass down the road.
Yep.
And 35 years is a long fucking time to try to dodge conflict. You better put your big boy pants on and get active. I've
Yep.
seen it way too many fucking times.
Really?
Motherfuckers playing gangster.
I've seen
trying
it.
to live that life till
I've
they do
actually
some shit
been
to
there.
catch a
I've
bid.
seen it.
Now they're
I've
behind the
experienced
wall with
prison.
some real fucking
It's-
gangsters, and that is
Yeah,
not what you fucking
exactly.
want. It don't matter how
You
tough
don't go in
think
with your
you are,
head
you
down.
get
You
the
don't
road,
go
them
in there
boys will
thinking you're
put
the
all that
baddest
shit to the
motherfucker.
fucking test. Motherfuckers really need to start thinking about their actions. Stay your ass out the street, mind your business, drink your water, because they will put your ass in fucking prison, and that shit is not for the weak.
Nope, it ain't. And not only that, here's the thing. If he stays solo, now I will say this: if Anthony stays solo, don't go in there and join up with any gangs or any of that stuff. He may survive. Sad old hippies. Jane Fonda reveals what the No Kings crowd is really about.
Her music. And in this, I've never forgotten in the 60s, hearing Joan Baez sing at a protest of hundreds of thousands of people. They were united and inspired by her music. And in the 60s and 70s, I watched the government bend to the will of those people, and we're going to watch it again.
This is the problem. You damn old white liberals, you boomers, that you need to sit down. You need to let us Gen X handle all this stuff. I've never met a single mother who didn't have a picture of herself while pregnant. Have you? So-called rumors could be, but exactly. Where's any pictures of Michelle Obama pregnant with any of her two kids? I've never seen a picture. It's never showed. If it is, it's fake, because take that shit down. That's ridiculous. I like that channel. Maybe I'll follow it for a while, see if it gets any better. Yeah. So let's see what's going on here. Fox News alert right now.
California Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom claims that President Trump and the DOJ are, quote, coming after him and those around him.
No,
trying to
quit
find
being a criminal.
crime. His words that does not exist. And what Newsom calls an attempt to intimidate him. Here we go. Listen.
Donald Trump isn't just coming after me.
He's not just coming after me. He's coming after my wife. He's coming after all these people, he says.
Because of my mean tweets. He's coming after me because I'm considering running for president. Because
See?
he hates that I consistently.
You hear that? We all knew he was going to run for president. Did you guys know that? Because we know him being governor is up this coming year. Like they put stimulations on. You can't just be a governor for the rest of your life, which is good. They need term limits. They need term limits in Congress and the House too. I don't believe Bernie Sanders should have been in there for 40 years. I don't believe Joe Biden should have been one for 35 years. I believe all these old people need out of there. Chuck Schumer needs to be out of there. Nancy Pelosi shouldn't have been in there. The Republican old dude, he actually got hospitalized the other day. How many times has he fell in the up there in the chambers and in Congress and all that? In the Capitol, he's fell. He's had to be wheelchaired in and out. He's had bruises all over him. He stops. He can't think half the time. He can't even speak. He's froze half the time. I'm talking about the Republican guy, Mitch McConnell. That's who, it's ridiculous, man. Put term limits on all of them, in my opinion. Get them out of there. That's the issue. We all knew he was going to run for president. We knew that. We knew Gavin Newsom was going to run. Now he's trying to hint around to it. Dude, if you run this country like you did California, we're all doomed.
Over and over again for his lies and deceit. Donald Trump is simply the most corrupt president in American history. He's
Mitch
turning
McConnell.
members of government into his own personal power ministries to reward cronies and to try to jail his
I
opponents.
agree.
So
They
let me
need to
say
be
again,
out of there, man.
Mr. President, come after
I'm
me.
not
I'm
just
not going anywhere.
one-sided. I tried
And
to
the
tell you
country
that, but you
is
keep
watching.
putting
Okay, so that
things
is
in my
Chris Salmon
chat
from California
like I
just
don't.
about an hour ago now.
I'm telling you,
No
I'm
comment
not
from
for
Fox and
just
the
one
DOJ as of this
side.
hour. A source there
I
saying
call
there are several
everybody out.
investigations into people around Newsom, including his wife and his former chief of staff, and they originate from whistleblowers. Fox News asking for clarity out of Newsom's office around what he means when
breaking
he
the
says
law,
the
asshole.
DOJ is demanding
They're doing
records
something
that has
wrong.
not been defined. We'll update you.
Whistleblowers are coming forward and saying this. Why would he be investigated? If you're not doing anything wrong, then there's nothing to worry about, right? But obviously you're doing something wrong.
Gavin Newsom
because
is currently under federal
whistleblowers are
investigation
coming
for
forward and
possible
saying
tax
he did this or they've done this. They're
The
doing
full
this with the
scope
taxpayers'
of the
money. They're doing this.
investigation
They're
into the
corrupt.
first partner is unclear.
Yeah.
The documentary filmmaker founded Representation Project, a nonprofit
See?
focused on gender equity in media.
Exactly. This is all corruption, man.
Uplifting and supporting women.
They're defrauding the freaking taxpayers.
Called Girls Club Entertainment, which is listed.
Why is gas $7 there? And my gas today, and it dropped yesterday down to $3.62. Because the governors, it ain't Trump that controls the gas prices. It's your state taxes that when they put gas tax and all that shit. There's so many electric cars now in California because all they wanted is electric and Teslas. Here's the thing. Now they're talking about passing a bill to tax the people driving electric cars for gas tax. And now Californians are pissed. A lot of them are mad because they're like, this is why you guys pushed electric vehicles. So we wouldn't have to pay the gas tax. We wouldn't have to pay all that for gases, the gas taxes and stuff. Now they're not getting enough money because there's so many electric cars and people driving them in California. Now they're not getting enough taxes on the gas. Now they're saying they're going to tax the damn people driving Teslas and electric cars because they're not having enough money coming in. And I don't blame them. If I went and spent my money, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 on an electric car, which I'm not that dumb, I'm not going to do that. But what I'm saying is, and now they're going to try to charge me a tax for gas when I don't even pay for gas. I don't have to buy gas. Yeah, that's stupid. You shouldn't have to pay a gas tax if you're driving an electric car. That makes no sense whatsoever. That's Gavin Newsom's America, guys, by the way. If you vote for him, that's what you're going to get. Higher taxes. Even they want you to do this. And the reason they pushed those electric cars, Elon Musk did the electric cars because, it's cool. Electric car is cool. I've been in one. They fly, man. They're awesome. But they're limited. Now, the reason the politicians want you to have electric cars, they don't want you going no more than 200 miles from your house. They want you confined in a place in your town, around your home, whatever, where you don't get to travel. Do you guys not get this yet? They want us stuck They don't want us moving around. They don't want us seeing these other places. They don't want us knowing what's going on in these other states and how much money's being swiveled. They want to confine us really to one place where we can't move, and they can keep an eye on us. They can freaking do whatever they want. It's why they did the C-19. They wanted to see how many people were going to comply and be sheep. Well, I'm not one. I didn't get the shot. My children's didn't get that shit. I wasn't going to obey to the mask and all that stuff. To hell with them. Guys, if you ain't man enough or woman enough to stand up and stand against this tyranny and shit, against these crazy woke Democrats, man, I don't feel sorry for you. You make your bed, you lie in it. That's what I say. You get what you pay for, meaning you get what you vote for. You vote this shit in, you deserve to be confined. You deserve, if you go buy an electric car, you deserve not to go nowhere than 200 miles. And you don't even get to go 200 miles in that car because you got to stop and charge it. And all you're doing is running around your town. That's what they want. They want you to stay put. They do not want you leaving your place. Now, you can agree with me. You can disagree with me. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't agree with everything that everybody on both sides do. I call out the real shit. That's just the way I am. And I will always call out bullshit. I don't have to agree with one side. You can say I'm wrong all you want, man. It doesn't bother me. I know what they're doing out there.
Contractor on the
I got people that live out there, and they tell me every day, they show me shit that they're trying to do. They're corrupt. California is a shithole.
Tax returns, and she co-founded.
They're not the beauty of it, not the state, not the scenery, the mountains. I'm not talking about that. The cities, the homelessness, all that shit is dirty shithole. The politicians are dirty and shithole.
The California Partners Project.
These people are dirty.
More women onto corporate boards, address the gender pay gap.
They're sitting here telling you, but you won't believe it. Even though CNN's telling you, your liberal media is telling you these corrupt, that they've done this and created corrupt, NGOs and did different programs and all this, and you still don't believe them.
For Siebel Newsom, the wife of California's governor and potential 2020.
Because they created these fake things to smuggle money from the American taxpayer. But you Democrats still don't believe liberal Democrat media.
The documentary filmmaker founded Representation Project, a nonprofit focused on gender equity.
Nonprofit, yeah. How much money's coming into that?
Uplifting, supporting women and girls.
It's ridiculous.
She also owns a film production company called Girls Club Entertainment, which is listed as a contractor on the Representation Project's tax returns. She co-founded California Partners Project, a nonprofit that works to get more women
smuggling money,
address the gender pay gap,
smuggling money,
safer for children.
All about this gender bullshit ideology. Have y'all not realized that's all about them making money? It don't have to be the Newsoms. It could be anybody. It could be a Republican that has this shit. They're smuggling money, dude.
Well, it is unclear what exactly investigators are focused on.
Allegedly, they're smuggling money. Allegedly, they're corrupt. Allegedly,
the governor is not directly under investigation.
And this is why they're being investigated.
As politically motivated and targeting him.
Donald Trump isn't just coming after me.
It ain't politically. It's because there is a lot of money missing. Over $50 billion in California is missing.
He's coming after me because I'm considering running for president.
No, it ain't.
Probe is not the only recent investigation.
He's a slick talking snake. He's good at slick talking.
To corruption. She pleaded guilty to 3 charges earlier this year. President Trump has made it clear he wants his justice.
Okay, why would she be up there pleading guilty of doing this stuff and whistleblowing if it ain't true? She's
Department to pursue his political enemies. Just last year, he called for Newsom to be arrested and has attacked him repeatedly.
He's ruined California. He gives health
to
anybody.
Yes.
Has learned the current investigation was launched last year by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Sacramento based on a whistleblower report. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche declined to answer questions Monday on Capitol Hill.
Can you confirm if this Justice Department is investigating?
Can you confirm if you're investigating the Newsoms? Can you confirm that you're investigating the Newsoms?
You send the vice president. If it works out, great, you look like a genius for sending him. And if it doesn't work out, it's the vice president.
I like that idea, sure. What? If it works out, I'm going to take the credit. If it doesn't work out, I'm blaming JD. You better.
Some element to this where you send the vice president. If it works out, great, you look like a genius for sending him. And if it doesn't work out, it's the vice president.
I like that idea, sure. What?
And people say, oh, look how mean, look how cruel and corrupt he is. He's going to blame JD, the vice president. That's a joke. You guys don't even know how to take Trump's humor. That's the problem. You got TDS so bad, you can't understand his humor.
If it works out, I'm going to take the credit. If it doesn't work out, I'm blaming JD. You better be careful, JD.
See, everybody laughs, but you guys take this seriously. See, he's corrupt. See, he's this.
turn his plane around and get the hell out of here. Yeah, I
See,
like that idea. I think it's a good idea. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
all he's doing is,
Some element to this.
being
where
funny,
you send the
man.
vice president.
When can someone not be
If it
funny? When did y'all see Bill Clinton go on Arsenio Hall? Remember that? And he played the saxophone. He did all this stuff, being funny and all this. Obama did a lot of things. But y'all don't see that. Y'all don't say that. You just say it when it's Trump doing
You're
something.
calling for a $50 an hour federal minimum wage. That's 7 times
$50 minimum wage. How many people will lose a
Can you explain
business?
how that would be economically sustainable?
Exactly. How's that going to be economically sustainable? A lot of businesses will go out of business. You can't pay fast food workers $50 an hour. And they wonder why that famous Big Burger or Walter Burger or something moved to Tennessee and started putting up their franchises in the South now. And they left California because the lady that owns it said they couldn't afford to do it anymore. They had so much taxes and shit, they couldn't even keep it going. It's ridiculous. And it ain't California, it's the California politicians.
For small businesses, you have 60 seconds.
Yeah, small business. How you gonna pay somebody $50 an hour?
First, let me say I owned and ran a small business for 11 years.
Okay, then why ain't you doing it now? Why ain't you made millions of dollars where you can retire? Why you got to run for office? Because you know damn well that it wasn't successful.
I created hundreds of jobs, benefits, retirement benefits, also healthcare benefits. I know what worker productivity means, and that means that you have to make sure that your employees are taken care of and have a living wage. In the Bay Area, I believe it was the United Way, came out with a report that very recently, $127,000 for a family of 4 is just barely enough to get by. Another survey very recently, $104,000 for a family
Especially
of
in
1,
California.
barely enough to get by. Low income.
Then lower the taxes. Stop draining everybody out there.
Because of the
There's a lot of taxes they can lower. Every state can lower certain taxes. They can eliminate property tax. They can eliminate grocery tax on all their state taxes, property taxes. They can do a lot of things that can make a difference in people's money. They refuse to do it because they want people's money. That's the problem. Because the more the companies pay, we're going to pay them $50 an hour. Ooh, look how much more taxes we can take. They do. Every time a minimum wage goes up, they put on more taxes. They raise the taxes.
Stability crisis. And so
That's
just
the
do
truth.
math. Just do the math. Of course, we have national minimum wages.
I didn't
that we need
vote
to
for
raise to a
Trump.
living
I didn't
wage.
vote for any of them.
$25.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't vote for any of them this go around. I did not. So don't sit and accuse me of voting for certain people. You don't know what I do. You don't know who I vote for. Trust me. That's where you guys get it wrong. Oh, you voted for Trump. You're a bootlicker. This and that. No, I didn't. And I didn't vote this go around. So you're judging me by me speaking on this stuff. And that's fine. You can have your opinion, but don't accuse me of doing something that I ain't done, that you don't have no clue of.
Fine, but I have got to be focused on what California needs and what the affordability factor is when we calculate this wage.
You're calling for a $50 an hour federal minimum wage. That's
That ain't
7
never
times
going to work.
the current national
$50 an hour is never going to work in California or anywhere, in my
I
opinion.
expected him to not have a sense of humor, and he did have one.
Oh,
I went backstage.
I expected JD Vance not to have a sense of humor.
How did he seem compared to how you expected him to be?
Yeah, he was
I
normal.
expected him to not have a sense of humor.
Imagine
and he
that.
did have
Imagine he was normal with common sense. Something you don't have. Look how old and ugly that lady is.
I went backstage and started doing the tumulting with him.
Yes, you always you popped in.
Yeah, she went back there being all nice and friendly and all that, just like they all do. They all do it. We know that. We know they're completely different behind the cameras. If you ain't smart enough to know that, then you're the ones that's mad in the streets and you're against your own American people, your own brother and sister. I'm not against the American people. I'm against these bullshit politicians and these bullshit people like her that push this propaganda on TV and social media that divide us. I don't want to be divided from anybody, any American. I want to be united. I don't want to be divided in the streets. I don't want black and white divided. I don't want any Republican, Democrat. I see us as Americans, but they have us divided because people believe this nonsense.
Arm them up and disarm them immediately.
Stop watching the mainstream media, people. You got to stop that. That is the most brain. Every channel, Fox, CNN, CBS, ABC, all that shit. New York Post, the Washington, all that stuff is nonsense, man. They want to write. It's just like them being on social media. They want clicks and views and comments, just like we all do. But I'm not pushing propaganda. I'm not saying what they're saying. I promise you, I'm not. Here's the thing. Go listen to them. You listen to them. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get the views. Why? Because it's profitable. Why? Because they have sponsors. And if their sponsors see that their ratings are down and their views are down, guess what? They drop them. So they don't have money. That's what it's about, guys. It's not about doing the right thing. I wish you people would wake up. I'm telling you, there's a lot of shit into this. People just don't see.
Here's what I liked. He came on willing to face. There were no rules.
Because y'all believe the bullshit
we were asking him.
And we asked tough questions. He answered. He definitely deflected.
This is the producer of the show.
But
He
at the
didn't
same
deflect.
time,
He answered.
He was willing to sit with you guys and have this conversation.
Everything I showed, he answered.
And he wants to run for president. Let's
I
see
showed
the
30
video.
minutes of his interview.
What I really like about it is I think now the bar is set.
He
I think
answered
if you're
every
running for
question.
president, you got to come on The View like JD Vance did.
They all will. They have to.
Really? You think they all will? Also, like why Kamala Harris wouldn't go on Joe Rogan, because she knew he'd eat her ass up with questions that she couldn't answer, because she's like, and they wonder why that people don't trust him. When The View got her on there and said, was there anything different when Sunny asked the famous question, is there anything different you would do than Biden? No, I can't think of anything, she said. And then Sunny had a thing and said, am I the one that cost her the election? No. You didn't cost her the election. She cost herself the election. The American people didn't want that nonsense. She blew over $1 billion and still went 20 million in debt, hiring musicians and actors and famous people instead of running a damn campaign and learning what she could actually do in this country and fix the country and help the things. Instead, and Trump only spent 300 something million, and she blew 1 point something billion and went 20 million in debt. Who do you think's paying that 20 million in debt, guys? We are.
To stop here, they want the female vote.
One thing he said backstage,
Ridiculous.
I think he said it a couple times today, was that he was more nervous coming on The View than he was for the vice presidential debate against Waltz.
Well, he should.
Bullshit.
You know, the girls.
Well, maybe
the other
because
girls
y'all are a
have
bunch of
many
cackling
receipts.
hens,
Yes.
but
Not to them.
And then what?
Don't touch me.
And then what?
I can say what I want.
And
you
then
can
what?
touch me in this bitch.
And
I
then
can
what?
say what I want. And then what?
That's why you're walking though, right?
I'm walking by choice.
Go.
Don't touch me.
Go.
Stop touching me. Stop touching
Go.
me. Don't touch me. Stop touching me.
Go.
Stop touching me, bro.
Go.
Stop touching me. Stop touching me.
Go.
Don't touch me. Bro, stop talking to me. What the fuck? Stop talking to me. I'm gonna walk out when I want to walk out.
exactly. These are the guys that single black women are raising. These are the kids right here.
Stop touching me, bro.
You're about to go in handcuffs because you want to push against authority. Just walk, dude. You can film. Just walk. Even that lady back there is telling you to go. One of the people.
No, he can't.
Not even a police
You can't
officer.
put me in handcuffs. You can't put me in cuffs. I ain't do shit. For what?
You sitting there running.
You don't want to go in cuffs, tough guy?
You're in a private establishment, man. You're not in public, bro. There's a difference. This is where people don't understand public and private. You're in a private business. That's a private corporation business. You're not in public. Now, you can stand on a public sidewalk and tell them to fuck off. But when you're in a public area and you're in a private business, and you're in a someone's store, that's private property now. You're not in public. Yes, he can tell you to walk and get out. There's a difference that people are not educated in. They're uneducated. Public, all for it. Hey, you want to stand on a public sidewalk, public forum, and say and tell that cop to kiss your ass? I'm for that. You know. But when you're in a private business, go read the First Amendment. Don't just read what you're allowed to do. Go read the whole Constitution, the Bill of Rights. Look it up. Look up the definition of private versus public. There's a lot of nuance. There's a lot of context. There's a lot of stuff these kids and grown-ups too do not understand about being in public or on private. You step into a gas station parking lot, you're on private property now. Someone asks you to leave, you leave. Someone tells you you can't film there, you are not allowed to film unless your life is being threatened or you're being beat or something like that, this is not being threatened. This is a cop telling you to move because you're in a private establishment, a business, and you're in his way.
Go.
That is actually interfering in a cop's duties when it's physical. So when you move physically in front of somebody and stopping their walkway, then that is interfering. Now, if you're just standing back on a public sidewalk somewhere and you're nowhere near them, that's not interfering. You can't interfere by just existing. I know these things because I film in public too.
Go.
Even these people at Walmart workers are telling him to leave. Go, man. Just go. He's going to tase your ass in a minute, son.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
Now, he didn't throw him on the ground. That kid, sit down. That's the whole thing. Look at this one. Yeah. You're going to burn in hell, buddy.
And how I move through the world.
How you move through the world? Oh, you're going to burn in hell. Any of these pastors that think that God created
simple category. And so they,
for them to do this,
room for all of the other expressions of ways that
it's sickening.
We are before God.
He's right when he said God doesn't limit creation to a simple category, but he's using it in the wrong context.
Yep.
What he's essentially trying to do is inject woke ideology
woke culture into the Christianity. Yeah.
And it's a problem, but I'm going to break down what I just said. If you go look in Genesis 1, you'll see that God created the heavens and the earth. He created light. He created fruit. He created trees. He created the ground. He created all the animals. He created man and woman. So it's correct when he says creation isn't limited to a simple category. Again, from trees to water to grass to animals to humans. Now, when it comes to humans, there are two simple categories. Genesis 1:26, then God said, let us make man in our image.
Let's make man in our image.
Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. Genesis 1:27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. Now, Genesis 2:19. Out of the ground, the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every bird of the air and brought them to Adam to see what he would call them. And whatever Adam called each living creature, that was its name. Genesis 2:20. So Adam gave names to all the cattle, the birds of the air, and to the beasts of the field. But for Adam, there was not found a helper comparable to him. Genesis 2:21. This is important. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh in its place. Now we're on verse 22. Then the rib which the Lord God had taken from man, he made into a woman, and he brought her to the man. Verse 23. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. So when it comes to humans, there are two categories, man and woman, male and female. And again, this pastor is trying to inject woke culture into Christianity. And again, this is why I say if we don't fight for our culture,
it doesn't fit.
It's a consistent battle.
Exactly. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is pretty amazing. It's crazy. This CNN shot. Now, this guy does these polls, and he tells the truth, and he tells CNN the truth because he's on CNN. And he tells it. Everyone's like, oh, support for Trump. Trump's MAGA's down, support. And he tells it, no, actually it ain't. It's up. Watch this bombshell right here, guys. He's fixing to tell how this poll with these Democrats hate America. Listen to this. This is wild right here. I've seen this earlier. Watch this. This is something. Let's see what he's saying here.
How patriotic are Americans feeling this morning? With us now, CNN chief data analyst.
We will always remember Lexington and Concord.
This guy on the right here, this younger guy, he's the one that tells the truth. He speaks the truth on all these polls and everything, the studies they do.
But we will always remember it here on CNC.
Patriots Day versus the 4th. We know which one is more important, but the meaning of the 4th. When we ask voters about this, what do most of them say at this point?
This, to me, is one of the most stunning divides that we have seen. You know,
Crazy.
We're talking about polarization in politics. It even comes down to what you believe July 4th actually is. Like, what does July 4th mean to you? Celebrate America, friends and family time. Among Republicans, what do you see? You see the clear majority say it's a time to celebrate America, 65%. Among Democrats, however, the plurality disagree. Look at that. What do you see? Friends and family time at 42% versus just 24% who say that what it means most for them is to celebrate America. So even on the basic question of what July
Democrats, they hate America, man.
4th means to you, we have Republicans on one end saying celebrate America, more of them say that, and Democrats on the other end saying that it means more to them to have time with friends and family.
What do they say about the flag?
Yeah, okay, so what do they say about the flag? Even on the basic level of flag, look at this. Look at how we have an increasing polarization on this issue. We'll display the flag on.
It's crazy. This is crazy. And this is how he did this. He does these studies. It's true.
July 4th, the American flag. Back in July of 2001, look at this. You had 68% of Republicans, 65% of Democrats saying that they would, in fact, display
Of course,
the flag.
because they voted in a mush brain, Joe Biden. So they were all excited about America, right? Yeah. Makes sense, right?
On July 4th. You come over to this side of the screen, Republicans basically are where they were 25 years ago, right? 64%. But look at that Democratic percentage, absolutely plummeting. Just 27% of Democrats say they will, in fact, display the flag on July 4th.
That's
Democrats and Republicans in different camps.
That's why I said we need a exchange program. Let's exchange our Democrats for, the common sense Brits and Europeans that have that love America and have common sense. Let's do an exchange program. Let's get those people over here, and let's send our Democrats, since they like the woke and censorship and all that shit. Let them go over there where they get arrested for posting a picture on social media. I guarantee you they'd be begging to come back to America. They would beg to come back to America if they had to deal with the shit over there.
Even on the simple question of displaying the flag on.
Because here's the thing. They want to post what they want. They want to say what they want freely and dog and be vile and all that. But they don't want anybody else doing it. But the thing is about that, Europe over there, Britain and all those places, nobody can do it. I don't care if you're woke or not. You post something, you go to jail. You say something on social media, you go to jail over there. So no, they would beg to come back to America. People don't realize how privileged American people are. And it ain't white privilege. It's American privilege. We are privileged that we have the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. We're privileged that we're free, that we can actually post things on social media without going to jail or without the police showing up to our door asking why we said something. People take life for granted every day. They take this country for granted. I say these Democrats don't have a clue what America's about because they don't like it. It proves it right here.
July 4th, a polarization, a split that simply put did not exist a generation ago.
What about the sloganeering?
They hate the flag.
American.
Okay,
27%.
what about this idea? Are you proud to be an American? Extremely or very proud to be an American?
Look at that.
Look at this
Look at
divide,
that.
a growing divide on this question. Back in January of 2001, 90% of Republicans, 85% of Democrats. This was after a very contentious 2000 election, keep in mind, right? With George
Of
W.
course.
Bush coming into the White House. You come over to this side of the screen in
2001,
2026,
George
Look
Bush.
at this. Again,
Yeah.
the Democratic percentage absolutely plummets to just 29% of Democrats say they're extremely or very proud to be an American. That Republican percentage, the exact same.
That's why I said let's send them over there. Let them go to Canada and to Europe and all those places. Let them go live in the woke countries. Those woke politicians have just they've just completely destroyed their countries over there. I really feel bad for the patriotic, common sense people over there. I do.
80 and 90, the Democratic percentage, what is that? That's basically a third of the level that it was just 25 years ago.
I think you're right to point out this was a time when Democrats might have been feeling badly about the course of the country. Still, 85% said they were proud to be American. Something's changed.
Something has absolutely changed despite
Yeah,
the
President Trump came in and
the
is
Democrats, that
the
extremely very
president.
high number.
That's what's changed. Trump's actually doing what a president's supposed to do. He's doing the job that a president's supposed to do. The reason they have an issue is because they've never actually seen a president do the job,
be able to turn
do
the
a
entire
real
place
job.
into a massive Trump World resort, which I also celebrate because I'm hoping by being on the same show with Vice President Vance that I get a discount code when it opens.
Yes.
Which would absolutely be amazing.
Yeah.
And to
If
Kat's
you want
point,
the discount code, it's Trump 2028. That's the discount code.
Oh, look at that.
legacy he wants its stability in the Middle East and to be able to turn the entire place into a massive Trump World resort, which I also celebrate because I'm hoping by
No,
being
actually,
on the
what
same
he's
show
wanting
with
to do, actually, what I see he's doing is he's turning America into an empire, what it should have been a long time ago. He's making America an empire. Listen to this old hag.
For himself, his legacy, and for the country.
Joe Biden made a terrible mistake.
And,
that's what she says.
Counterfactual.
She's saying Joe Biden made a terrible mistake doing something. Let's listen and see what she's saying about Joe Biden. The 92nd Street, New York.
He made a terrible mistake. He made a terrible mistake for himself, his legacy, and for the country.
Yeah, he did.
He had said that he would not run again. And
it ain't just about him saying he wouldn't run again and try to run again. He made a mistake by running in the first place because Joe Biden 2020 and as president was not the Joe Biden, 2010, 10 years before that. He could actually think and move around. The Joe Biden 2020 was delusion, mush brain, all time. I think something seriously wrong with him. I don't think he's all there. I never thought he was there. But 10 years before 2010 and stuff, and he could think when he was vice president and all that stuff, he just got too old. He got too old. He shouldn't have been president to start with. But that's all he ever wanted. Vice president wasn't good enough for him. And I get he's a career politician. That's what they do. They run. They want to be president. That's their life goal. I think Trump wanted to be president, not just to fix his country because he loves his country. I think Trump wanted to be president because he wanted to make sure, because a building with Trump's name on, I love Trump. I do. I support his policy. I support Trump. But here's the thing. A building in New York with Trump's name on it can be tore down. You understand what I'm saying? Trump's name can be took off a building. All right. In the future, whatever. But Trump has always, for his whole life, not wanted to be president, but he knew this. Go back 30 years, 40 years. He even said it. This country's in a bad way. He would fix a lot of stuff. Here's the thing. Trump's name, I think he always wanted a legacy with his name on his buildings and all that. I get it. He wanted his name to last a lifetime. And now he gets to do that because now he's president. And now as President Trump, his name will go down in history. And I believe that's not the only reason he ran as president. I truly believe he loves America. He loves this country. He wanted to fix this country. He wanted to bring back some common sense, but I also believe that he's an egotistic maniac, just like all of us. Anyone that wants to be on these streams, anyone on YouTube, anyone that's streaming wants to show their face and talk, there's somewhat an ego there. Everybody's got an ego to a point. Now, mine ain't huge. I've got an ego, but it's not huge and crazy like that. My name doesn't have to go down in history, even though it probably will for things I do that's not online, that with my businesses and stuff. But here's the thing. I believe that was somewhat of what Trump, he wanted to make sure his legacy lasted with his name and family. And he's done it. He secured it. And I support him for it. Hey, more power to you. If you can go down in history as doing something good and being president or anything, more power to you. It's better than what some of these people are going down in history for.
And, counterfactual narratives are always a bit tricky, but I believe
this lady ain't never going to leave the public side, is she? She's always fighting to be in somebody's camera or talking or somewhere. Trump lives in her head rent free because she hates that Trump beat her in the election. She hates that she's not president. She even said that her mama told her she was born to be the president of the United, first woman president, blah, blah, blah. No, you wasn't, lady.
It kept to that plan and said in, say, the late summer of 23 that he wasn't going to run, that he was going to pass, the torch to the next generation.
What's up, Salty?
We would have had a real contest.
Good afternoon.
And
yeah, I know Michelle
very
Obama's
sadly,
Big Mike.
I believe whoever emerged from that contest,
Big
whether
Mike,
a vice president or a governor or a senator or anybody else,
she's a fruitcake.
So I think it was a terrible miscalculation on the part of President Biden. But once he didn't move, well, no, he didn't move. All right,
he stood stiff everywhere he went. He was stiff. He was stiff. He was mush brain. He didn't. You got that right. He didn't move. He didn't move at all. Even the auto pen had to sign all this shit. People corrupt, signing pardons and all kinds of stuff. The auto pen did it because he couldn't move. I know what she's meaning. He didn't move, meaning he didn't give up the president and pass it on to Kamala like he said he was going to. He thinks, I'm good. I got my name to go down in history as I was a president. I got 4 years. What he don't realize, just like she said, he messed his whole legacy up in name and everything. I think it was already messed up as a senator. He was the biggest crock of shit liar. But not only that, I believe he messed it up anyways because he was the worst president so far in my lifetime. He's been the worst president. Biden has been the worst president. I think he messed his own name up.
Admit that
he wouldn't
admit
admit
he was going to step aside and then decided not to.
Because he wouldn't
and
admit he's
held
a
on
mush
for as long
brain.
as he did. We were in a
shame on his family, Jill, and all them for not saying, Joe, you can't do this job, man. You don't need to be president. You've had a good 35-year career as a corrupt politician. Let's move on.
terrible dilemma.
It's ridiculous. You don't think she ain't run her name? She's run her name just by saying that she's stuck with her husband. You know, why he cheated on her in the White House. I mean, come on. She said, I'm going to be like, stand by my man, Tammy Wynette or whatever. Stand by your man. Like, crazy. I mean, it's just crazy. These people are whacked out, man. And they say some of us have issues. Shit, they got worse issues than anybody. They are completely woo-wee. All right, guys, that's going to be the end of the show today. I've gone 2 hours and 33 minutes. Make sure you hit that subscribe, like, comment. There's Cash App, Venmo, PayPal going across the screen there. Also, the QR code's up on the screen for the Cash App. Make sure you support the channels, guys. And we will be back tomorrow. Stay in your lane or just crash the damn thing. Right lane is for stock always.